I have never been more scared in my life than I was that first time that he hurt me.
Jenna Lisa Jones and other sex abuse accusers speaking out today. So are lawmakers from both parties. California Democrat Ro Khanna.
A nation that allows rich and powerful men to traffic and abuse young girls without consequence is a nation that has lost its moral and spiritual core.
And at the White House moments ago, President Trump was asked if his donors could be named in the files.
From what I understand, I could check, but from what I understand, thousands of pages of documents have been given. But it's really a Democrat hoax.
Now to Chicago. President Trump has made it clear federal forces will be deployed there. CBS News Chicago's Darius Johnson.
The president challenged Governor J.B. Pritzker to call and ask him for help, saying that would make any deployment legal if he's asked to intervene. But Pritzker says that's not happening. His sources confirm federal staging is already underway, with agents and vehicles currently being relocated from Los Angeles to Chicago.
And in Washington, D.C.,
Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser says the district has a plan to keep working with federal agencies.
We don't need a presidential emergency.
Bowser has taken flack over the occupation of the district by federal troops and walked a fine line in dealing with President Trump. Trump's crime emergency is set to end September 10th, but Bowser says the only way it could be legally extended is by Congress. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
More than 100 survivors and relatives of victims of Maine's deadliest mass shooting are now suing the federal government, alleging the Army could have stopped one of its reservists from carrying out the attack that killed 18 people in 2023. On the Health Watch, CBS's Michael Wallace tells us some blue states are planning to take their own action on vaccines.
Citing the firings and turmoil at the CDC, the governors of California, Washington, and Oregon have announced their states will work together on vaccine guidance and recommendations. In a joint statement, they say the CDC has become, quote, a political tool that increasingly peddles ideology instead of science. Ideology that will lead to severe health consequences, end quote. The CDC has lost thousands of employees this year, including its director recently.
The retailer Macy's reporting its first increase in same-store sales since 2022. The store chain is now focused on modernizing stores. Wall Street, the Dow is down 174 points. The S&P is higher. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The school year begins today in Seattle. Details coming up, but first, KIRO Newsradio traffic. In Tacoma, a crash is blocking a lane on I-5 northbound near 70th Avenue East. You are slow past Wapato Park. A rollover crash is blocking a lane on State Route 18 eastbound. You are jammed up near the Muckleshoot Casino, not quite back to Pacific Raceways. And something's got you slow through the 5 curve, probably because it is the 5 curve. Travel times, Everett to Seattle, 51 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, 58. Renton to Bellevue, 46. Traffic brought to you by the KIRO Radio Rundown. Text newsletter to 888-973-5476 and subscribe to the daily KIRO News Radio Rundown.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch.
And he's going to go the wrong way I-5.
Going to go the wrong way I-5.
A man the Thurston County Sheriff is calling likely the most dangerous driver in the state is back behind bars today after a high-speed pursuit. Deputies clocked him going 135 miles per hour. Video shows him abandoning the car and trying to make a run for it before he's tackled. The sheriff says the man, who has 14 felony convictions, is due back in court September 9th. Seattle police say they arrested 2 18-year-olds before they were able to use a device to reprogram key fobs to steal a car over the weekend. KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lomibao explains.
Detective Eric Munoz says officers found professional key programmers being used by thieves trying to steal a car in Pioneer Square over the weekend.
It's a very unique way to steal a car.
Police say they moved fast to arrest 2 armed 18-year-olds before they could create a successful copy of the vehicle's key fob.
Officers were able to interrupt them while they were trying to do this process.
They also recovered 2 loaded guns on them.
The school year begins today for Seattle students at a district dealing with an $80 million budget shortfall. Interim Superintendent Fred Protestor says the district might have to cut buses and bus routes, add a third bell time, and
We might have to have larger class sizes. School schedule is important, but that's one of those things we think we can do.
several school districts are struggling with budget shortfalls due to declining enrollment and increased costs. Thousands of local security guards represented by SEIU 6 have voted down their latest contract proposal and could go on strike. KIRO 7 TV's Ranji Sinha reports.
This workforce watches sites like Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, and Sound Transit. Representatives for the union say their guards are in the front line, dealing with a lot more over the last few years.
Mental health crisis, homelessness, alcohol and drug abuse.
The union said the median salary for these security guards that work at campuses like Microsoft's is about $55,000, and they cited a Seattle Times article saying you need to make $92,000 to live well here in King County.
Oracle is cutting jobs again in Seattle. The cloud computing company says 101 workers will be laid off starting November 3rd, according to a state filing. Oracle laid off 161 employees last month. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunshine with highs in the low 80s. It's 66 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday, September 3rd. Angela Poe Russell is in for Ursula today. Good morning to you, Angela.
Good morning, G.
It's the 3rd of September.
Oh, yes.
You know
I'll always remember.
Today, my daddy died.
Wow. I can't believe I was able to pick up what you were putting down.
Not many people would have, Angela. That is good.
You owe her lunch now.
I'm done. By the way, that's Papa was a Rolling Stone. But as soon as I said September 3rd, I said, oh, it's the 3rd of September. The way I think sometimes.
I love it.
Hey, Chef is here. Nick is here. We got a packed show for you all today. Coming up at 9:47, we need to talk about what we know about America's billionaires here in this country. We will be discussing that. Coming up at 9:30, our very own Charlie Harger is going to come in to discuss and talk about his commentary that he gives. And in
Will
his
it be a debate?
You know, well, I asked Chef when I was going to get coffee. I said, hey, Chef, I want to talk to Charlie Harger about his commentary, but I want to do it in a way where I don't seem frustrated with him. And Chef says, well, G, in your nice voice, you just say, hey, I'm a little frustrated by this.
Not the person.
Not the person.
The idea, the rest.
Yeah. So Charlie Harger's going to come in there, and I'm going to nicely tell Charlie there were some things in his commentary that kind of frustrated me.
You're doing great. You're doing great.
All right. Ta-ta. Here we go. Top stories of the day brought to you by Batfitter Northwest.
Okay, check this out. The city of Seattle is going after the manufacturer of one of the world's most popular handguns. The issue, Glock pistols. They can easily be converted into automatic weapons, and the lawsuit alleges the company has known this for 40 years and has done nothing to make it more difficult. Glock switches, also known as auto sears, are dime-sized pieces of metal or plastic that can be attached to the back of a Glock handgun without the need for specialized tools or skills. The switches are cheap and can easily be bought online or made with a 3D printer. I want to give you an idea of how dramatically a Glock switch can increase the rate of fire. I'm going to give you some audio from the ATF showing the difference. So here is before the modification, just a Glock handgun, okay?
So this is semi-automatic, a single pull of the trigger, and I'll do 3 shots as fast as I can.
All right, there you go. So that's the basic Glock handgun. Now, with the switch added, that thing that you can make with a 3D printer, it's easy to get, cheap, same amount of time, but way more shots fired. Listen.
And then this, again, is turning it on fully auto.
Jeez.
Yeah. Same, and by the way, these clips, same amount of seconds, but that second one, you really hear how many bullets are fired in that short amount of time. Now, City Attorney Ann Davidson explained in further detail why Glock is a focus for them and not other gun manufacturers.
Other handgun makers do different designs in their firearms, and it's very difficult and complicated to change the mechanics of it to insert this switch. Glock's design is more simplistic and very easy to change, and that is why it is the targeted one, the one that is coveted in criminal actors' markets and what they want to have. It's almost a status symbol to have a Glock and to have a switch with it, because in about 3 seconds, 2 or 3 seconds, they can fire 30 shots.
Yeah, the lawsuit also names some local companies, Bullseye Indoor Range in Tacoma, Pentel Tactical in Renton, and Rainier Arms in Auburn, since they are all authorized dealers of Glock products. And according to the suit, have each sold at least one Glock handgun that was illegally converted into an automatic weapon and recovered during a criminal investigation. Chicago and Baltimore have filed similar suits against Glock, as have attorneys generals of Minnesota and New Jersey. According to the Seattle Times, the Seattle Police Department tracks the number of shell casings found at each shooting scene, and they've seen this dramatic increase since 2020, likely attributed to the use of automatic weapons. And for example, in 2020, they collected more than 2,500 casings from shooting scenes. That number, just 3 years later, 5,700.
Wow.
That is, more than double in a span of 3 years, shell casings.
Well, the first thing that stands out to me in the words of Angela Poe Russell this morning is that finally Seattle's not getting sued and they're doing the suing. That's one thing that stands out. The second thing that really stands out to me is, are we all on the same page on this topic right here? Can we all, like, I know we agree and disagree about everything. Can we all agree that this needs to be done away with? These machine gun type switches put on these firearms that turn these firearms into basically military rifles and things. There's no control. There's no aim. Just flat out chaos. Families, kids, bystanders, all impacted. You could just be minding your own business, going to the grocery store, being in the right place, but at the wrong time. Right place for you, wrong time for this situation. Angela, are we all on the same page with this topic right here?
I would hope so, but I've often over the years, I've heard people say, no, I have a right to have a gun and the type of gun I want. And I don't think anyone's talking about taking the gun, but it seems to me if you can take a 3D printer and print a cheap switch and put it on a gun really easily and create this kind of chaos, that to me, that there should be some kind of regulation around that.
Well, I'll tell you what we need to do. What we need to do for this topic and just going forward, we need to really be clear on the definition of protection and destruction. Right? You want a firearm for protection? Some folks just want firearms for destruction. And that's a huge difference.
You know what's interesting? I don't know if you've ever had this situation where, you live your life and you think you know what's happening in the world, and then you learn something new and you're like, wow, it's a whole world I didn't know existed. So researching this story, I didn't realize there's this whole glorification of this handgun on, I know, it seems, she just looked at me like, what have you been living under a rock? But yeah, apparently, they're talking about song lyrics, social media. They're alleging the company's own marketing, glorifying it in a way that's like, it is cool to have this gun. And for the people who are, video games, that was another one. They were saying you see it glorified in video games. So I guess I wonder, because I'm very hesitant to, around free speech issues. Okay.
Right.
I do worry though, when there's a culture of saying this is a cool thing to have, and it's not for the purpose of any kind of public good.
Angela, we gonna quit pretending, and we gonna just say we gonna say the quiet part out loud.
Yeah.
We gonna say it.
Do it.
For too long, our culture glorified a lot of this stuff. For too long, right? The guns, and now I feel like I'm speaking like my father did when I was younger. He couldn't stand the shoot 'em up video games, and he couldn't stand the rap music that was glorified. And his thing was, I don't care what type of music it is. Any music that glorifies guns, he was out on it. I didn't understand it then. I thought he was a hater then. I thought he was an old timer then. Duh. Why wouldn't I try to listen to someone who's been around the block longer than me, who was law enforcement, Marines, and truly saw killing and understood what that did?
And then we wonder why we have the problem that we have. And I know what this, listen, I've heard this argument. People say, well, I play the shoot 'em up video games and I haven't shot someone.
Great.
I mean,
great.
We're glad you didn't.
Glad you didn't. And neither did I.
We're glad you didn't. But, we had that conversation yesterday about birds of a feather and who you hang out with, how you associate. And great. Yes, most individuals maybe who consume don't directly do certain things. But when you look at we as a culture, how have we evolved as this thing has become popular and has become a thing? You have to see the correlation.
Have to.
It's the whole you are what you eat.
Yeah. Yep. But I just want to say this before we move on. As we were saying this and talking this, and I don't know, I kind of got in my feelings as we're talking about this. I probably went too far with what I said.
You get in your feelings?
Yeah.
You go too far? What do you mean?
I sure did. But it's interesting. I was trying to think how I would feel if I would listen to someone say what I just said and you and I just said, if they said that about the music and the video games.
That we're old?
Yeah, I'd probably say that.
Well,
what's next?
I think we're old and right on this one. There's wisdom with that. Okay. A recent move by the federal government in our state has First Amendment experts and fellow veterans deeply concerned. The FBI arrested a U.S. Army veteran and U.S. citizen who protested at an ICE facility in Spokane earlier this summer. It was June 11th. ICE agents attempted to exit a facility in a vehicle believed to be holding two legal Venezuelan migrants. Obejan Mavawala II, along with hundreds of others, stood in the way. Mavawala is a former Army sergeant. He survived a roadside bomb blast on a special ops mission in Afghanistan, deeply respected in the community. Well, on that day in June, agents with full masks, sunglasses, and no visible ID began pushing the protesters out of the way, and Mavawala briefly locked arms with an agent and was spun around by him. Here's some audio. These were the protesters outside of that ICE facility. So Mavawala is charged with conspiracy to impede or injure officers. Now, you should note, legal experts say this is broad, and with this charge, you only have to show intent, not that he actually did anything. Mavawala's father is a retired U.S. Army intelligence officer with 3 Bronze Stars earned during tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. His family says Mavawala's actions were motivated by commitment to nonviolent protests, which traces back to the family's deep connection to the Indian independence leader Mahatma Gandhi. The conspiracy count carries a maximum penalty of 6 years in prison, a $250,000 fine, 3 years of supervised release. He's awaiting trial. He's out of jail and is on his own recognizance right now. Now, here's the thing about this story that's interesting. So here's the twist. This indictment against him was handed down 2 days after career prosecutor Richard Barker, the acting U.S. attorney for Eastern Washington, resigned. So he resigns. 2 days later, this charge happens. And get this, in a social post, Barker called his exit a very difficult decision and said, "I'm grateful I never had to sign an indictment or file a brief that I didn't believe in." The current U.S. attorney nominated for the post by Donald Trump, Pete Serrano, a former litigator for the Silent Majority Foundation, a conservative advocacy group. In February, Serrano filed an amicus brief in support of Trump's executive order to end birthright citizenship, a position at odds with the 14th Amendment. He has no prosecutorial experience and has described the January 6th U.S. Capitol rioters as political prisoners. You're following all of this.
I am following all this, and I would assume that the easy thing for me to say is this is signs of an authoritarian government heading towards that. When you start suppressing and making people afraid to protest, right? You making examples of people. But the overall picture that I see with this is it feels like whoever's in office, whoever's in the federal administration going forward, it will be kind of this way. It will be, I'm scared it's going to be extreme always. And this is scary because this is a democracy. This is why the United States was so revered in the world and looked up to
because you could protest.
Because you could protest,
yes.
and freedom of speech. And we look at North Korea and we look at China and we look at all of these places that have dictators and we say, wow, look, they can't do that, and ooh, their press is not allowing them to do that. But then here, when peaceful protest, the ability to protest, and now people, they will try to fear and scare people into not protesting.
Yes, and I just want to be clear because, whenever you're giving headlines, there's always context around things. At that protest, I've seen the video. I watched it and was so proud of most of the people in that video.
Yeah.
There were a couple of incidents where someone let air out of the tires of a government vehicle. Mm-hmm. Someone did smash a window. There were hundreds of people there, and those people who did that were arrested there. This charge against him has nothing to do with that. It is a conspiracy charge. Mm-hmm. And if you look at the majority of people there, they are just locking arms, standing nonviolently, blocking the vehicle from taking who they believe to be these were Venezuelans legally here. Mm-hmm. And we've seen a lot of those cases where it's like, wait a minute, I'm legally here. Why am I being detained? Yeah. So I remember seeing that video before knowing this background and just thinking, wow, I was so proud of most of the people there because this is how they locked arms. They were shoved around by officers, pushed to the ground. They didn't fight back. The ones that I saw in the video, they just stood there and stood firm and they took it. Yeah. Do we have time to get to the next story?
Yes, we do.
Okay, we should do it. Okay, I'm slow to the trigger, but it's coming hot. All right, speaking of freedom of speech, Pierce County Sheriff Keith Swank defending his right to say what's on his mind. Yesterday on the show, we told you how he posted on X this question. Do you think it's time to ban trans people from owning guns? That was his post. Now, this topic came up because the shooter at that church in Minneapolis was transgender. Now, since we first reported this, Swank told, and you know what? I want to make sure I got this right. That's how all this came up, right? I'm double checking, Chef.
The social media post?
Social media post, yes.
Correct.
No, but I mean the part about the shooter and at the church. That was how all of this came up.
Well, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the conversation of trans. Yes.
Yep. Okay. Since we first reported this, Swank told King 5 that he believes transgender people have mental health problems, but does not believe all transgender individuals should be banned from owning guns. Swank says the post on X was, I don't know, just a way to jostle with liberals.
I wanted to see what the people on the left would say if they'd say, the people who say we should ban firearms, what they're going to say if I ask them a question about that and see what the responses might be.
Okay, so according to a 2023 report from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, transgender individuals accounted for less than 2% of mass attacks between 2016 and 2020. More than 95% were carried out by cisgender men.
And I want to give props to King 5. King 5 is the one that we got this report from and did the interview with Swank. I love how they put that little blurb down at the very end of all of this in the article. They actually put the report, the 2023 report by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. And I just want to say, King 5, I like how you subtly did that and just kind of came with the facts. As for this, Sheriff Swank did mention, and he said that being trans is a mental condition, is what he said. And I just want to be really clear about this because I feel like sometimes in this market, in this media, I feel like the only people that come right out and defend trans rights here, at least on air or in media, is the Gee and Ursula Show. So I'm going to continue to do that right now.
Yes.
People have confused identity with illness. for way too long. Who you are at your core, the way you see yourself, the way you live your truth, that's not broken. That's not something that needs to be fixed. A mental condition is when something is causing distress, dysfunction, or harm. You want to know who causes harm to the trans community? Bullies, ignorance, people who are just insecure little creatures. It's the stress, it's the depression that causes the trans community pain. It's the awfulness that causes the trans community pain. So when people try to frame trans being a mental issue, what they're really doing is quite simple. They refuse to see the humanity in others that don't look or act like that. Imagine if we had a world that was hell-bent on making fun of little weasels. They don't do that. Coming up at 9:47, we need to talk about billionaires in the United States of America. But up next, Charlie Harger, our very own, will come in here pretty soon. And we're going to be talking about his commentary and how he talked about an extra $8 billion being pumped into education. Talk about that next. Gee Ursula with Angela.
Jason Rance here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. So you and I have talked before about the folks who think they can do this themselves. And again, I imagine there are a lot of people who are saying, well, new administration, fewer staff members, now I truly can get it done.
Really, in this situation, I do feel really bad for the taxpayer because here you're getting a notice. You call the IRS, you're going to be on hold for 45 minutes to an hour. And so getting through is going to be more difficult. And when you do get through, you're going to be talking to people that are not as well trained as they have been in the past.
Which makes it even easier for them to take advantage, even if it's not intended, against the person who owes taxes.
I've heard it said that they just will make up something because they want to respond to the taxpayer. And people are going to get some really bad information and they're not going to know.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, call Greg Nunn, None Better Tax Resolution, 425-947-1967, or Google NUNN, None Better Tax Resolution.
Hartley here from Wilcox Family Farms. I'm so excited to have my cousin Amelia with me today. So, how many chickens do you think there are on the farm?
3,000?
What do you think chickens eat?
Grass.
What else?
Seed.
So, do you know what organic eggs are?
The ones that you put in brownies?
Yes, the ones you put in brownies.
We hope you choose fresh eggs from our family farm.
Wilcox Family Farms eggs, locally fresh
since 1909.
Homeowners, federal tax credits on heat pumps end soon. Home Comfort Alliance can help you save up to 75% on new in-stock heat pumps with combined discounts, utility rebates, and expiring federal tax credits on systems installed by December 31st. These are new in-stock high-efficiency models that will make your home comfortable year-round. Federal tax credits expire December 31st, so don't wait. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com. For all your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs, it's Home Comfort Alliance, the comfort people.
With football season comes cooler weather, so if you need new windows and doors, don't drop the ball. Steve Rabel here. Call on locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington to tackle your project. Their wide selection of windows and doors always beats the competition, and they'll give you top-notch customer service with no trick plays. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with a Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the final days of Sleep Number's biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale. Up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed. Ends Monday. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Experience the thrill of seeing orcas and humpback whales with Puget Sound Express. Join their family-run tours for guaranteed whale sightings, departing daily from Edmonds. These are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Book now at PugetSoundExpress.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to the end of summer sale at AutoZone. We're celebrating the end of long days and short nights with big deals for a short time, like car wash. Right now, you can save 20% on the Armor All Complete Car Wash Kit. Need new brakes? Duralast brake pads are free with the purchase of Duralast rotors. We've also got oil deals and more. We're ending the summer right with the end of summer sale at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions, like your priceless vinyl collection. Sure, you sleep on a futon because the money most people would have spent on a bed you spent on more records. But forget the fact that you can stream just about any song ever created for a few dollars a month. No, you need to listen to music in the most difficult way possible. So go ahead and get Progressive so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. Following firings and turmoil at the CDC, the governors of Washington, Oregon, and California say their states are coming up with their own vaccine guidance and recommendations. CBS's Michael Wallace.
In a joint statement, they say the CDC has become, quote, a political tool that increasingly peddles ideology instead of science. Ideology that will lead to severe health consequences, end quote. The CDC has lost thousands of employees this year, including its director recently.
More than 1,000 current and former Health and Human Services workers sent a letter to Congress today demanding Robert F. Kennedy Jr. resign as secretary. They say his anti-vaccine policies endanger Americans, according to the Guardian. A federal judge is looking over an agreement between Boeing and the Department of Justice that allows Boeing to avoid prosecution for 2 deadly MAX crashes more than 5 years ago. CBS's Chris Van Cleve.
This may be an opportunity for families who lost loved ones in those 2 crashes to get a chance to urge the judge not to dismiss this felony charge.
More than 346 people died. Boeing says it has made major changes to improve quality and safety. Survivors of sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein and his accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell are asking Congress to pass a law that would force the release of all government files related to Epstein.
Please really listen to us. Please vote for this bill to be passed. Please recognize how important it is for transparency relating to Jeffrey Epstein.
Meantime, a U.S. House committee has released a missing minute of Epstein in his cell block. It shows nothing unusual. Epstein eventually died by suicide. People in Hawaii are being urged to keep up with weather forecasts as Hurricane Kiko gets stronger in the Pacific Ocean east of the islands. Meteorologist Drew Davis is in Honolulu.
It's still too early to determine the impacts. The weather models are about a week out. Still a lot of uncertainty out there.
Kiko's forecast to strengthen into a Category 3 hurricane. Firefighters are struggling to contain the Bear Gulch wildfire burning near Lake Cushman. The latest from KIRO 7 TV's Lindsay Sheldon.
Containment has slipped along the fire line outside Olympic National Park. It dropped to 10% on Monday, and it remains there as fire has burned 9,300 acres since it was discovered July 6th.
The fire was human-caused. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 189 points, NASDAQ up 196. KIRO News Radio traffic in Tacoma. The crash has been cleared from I-5 northbound near 70th Avenue East. On State Route 18 near the Muckleshoot Casino, the crash has been moved. Only one lane partially blocked now, and the backup is disappearing. Traffic brought to you by Seattle Sports. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube and click subscribe to get fresh video radio content daily. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunshine today with highs in the low 80s. It's 66 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Hey, good music choice there. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Angela Poe Russell is in for Ursula. Coming up at 9:47. How many billionaires do you think live in the United States of America? Do you think it's more or less than there were in 2000? Well, we'll discuss that one next. What do you think, Angela? Yeah, we'll guess that next. We'll talk about it. All right. Right now, my good buddy Charlie Harger is here. We have to talk to Charlie Harger about his commentary this morning. Good morning to you, Charlie.
Good morning, G. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Thank you for always coming in to hang out with us. I love hanging out with you and your show as well. So, Charlie, you believe that more money isn't better for schools or students. I'm going to make sure I got that right.
Something isn't working for the education system right now. A little more than 10 years ago, the Washington Supreme Court ruled in the McCleary decision that the state wasn't adequately funding education. So, lawmakers opened the floodgates. Today, Washington spends an extra $8.5 billion every year on public schools compared to before McCleary. You'd expect dramatic improvements, right? Better test scores, kids reading above grade level, math whizzes everywhere. Instead, we got the opposite. Reading proficiency has plummeted since McCleary. Only 1 in 3 eighth graders can do math at grade level. We're worse off than before we spent all that money.
Good morning, Charlie.
Gee. So here's what I think some people might hear, and this is something that has been an issue with talk radio, because when you hear a lot of talk radio, you automatically assume, okay, that's Charlie. He's some sort of blowhard and he's going after the teachers. I am not going after teachers. We have some of the best teachers I know I have in the Auburn School District. They are great with my kids. Mm-hmm. People I know who are teachers are dedicated. They care. But we do have an issue with our education system. Something is going wrong somewhere if we have spent $8.5 billion a year over the past several years, and none of the outcomes are showing any improvement. And I think it's a systemic issue. It is not an issue specifically with teachers. But I also think that a lot of people will hear a criticism on an opening day of school and think, oh, man, here he comes again. This is some sort of talk radio host going after the teachers. Didn't happen.
Okay. I want to make sure I'm going to cross it off, because I was extremely frustrated.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're telling me that, and you're not just speaking for Auburn School District. You're speaking for all teachers in Washington. So you're not going after them at all.
No. Okay. Now, are there issues with some teachers?
Did you hear about this?
Yeah, sure.
You said, are there what?
Issues with some teachers? Sure.
When you say issue with some teachers, what do you mean by that?
Are some burned out? They're, looking at the classroom full of kids who have parents who don't give a dang about how their child performs. They're acting poorly. Yeah, you've seen those burned out teachers.
Would you agree that burnout happens in all professions?
100%.
Okay, so let's play it. Okay, and then you're talking about reading proficiency going down. Is it just the state of Washington, or is it national?
Yeah, in the commentary I bring up, this is a national trend. This is not Washington State alone.
Okay. Secondly, one of the things is, and then as far as money, are you okay with the amount of money and salary that teachers make?
They have to be. It's
because.
Because at $94,000 a year, which is the fourth highest in all the United States, that's a middle class income in Seattle. Okay,
right.
So that's the frustrating thing, is that two things can be true at the same time, right? That teachers are making more money, and that money is certainly an issue right now because, look, we were. When I see spending $8.5 billion, I'm hoping there is somehow an improvement. And that not only comes from the administration. It comes from state leaders. It comes from parents. It comes from a community. But we spend $8.5 billion every year, and we're not seeing anything for it.
When you say we're not seeing anything, like I just want to tell you, I disagree that we're not seeing anything because one, across the country, there has been a decrease in all the scores. That's number one. Number two, with that decrease here, what has happened here and everywhere over the last 5 years that might have an impact on kids' learning, watch this, and might have an impact on the mental stability of adults? What big thing has happened in 5 years?
Yeah, and so we can talk about COVID, and that was the big thing. And I think you're hearing an increasing amount of people who are saying, maybe we shouldn't have had kids out of the classroom for so long. I think that also affected them, their mental health, and their learning capabilities.
Well, I feel like the music's playing. I didn't get to talk, but you were cooking. That's okay. So here's where I agree with you on one part. I do think we have a problem. I think that even when you have these commentaries, it's great that we have space.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just not enough space still. It isn't, right? Because the context around it, you look at when McCleary was approved, but it really didn't get implemented till 2018, until it was fully funded. So the money kind of went in, flushed in 2018. Then we have the pandemic. And then, and here we are. So it's been really difficult. So I think there's grace around that. I do think I appreciate having the courage to ruffle some feathers in this industry, because oftentimes if you talk about certain industries, you get shut down because we can't talk about it. I think we do need to have conversations, because I will tell you, I had kids in public school and I volunteered in them, and I had a chance to see firsthand why it was so difficult. A classroom full of kids, if you have a few struggling, you got to focus on those kids struggling, and the others are kind of left to. So there are issues. There are issues with the unions and certain priorities that they have versus the priorities of the students. So I think this is a great conversation starter.
Yeah.
I'm just not ready to criticize and say we haven't, but only because we just hit fully funding after decades of underfunding. We went through a pandemic that we are just even businesses haven't recovered from COVID. I mean, so that's, I don't know.
You guys thought I was going to come out swinging against the teachers, didn't you?
Well, I just think, listen, I've done these commentaries and I know it is so hard because even with the time you do have, it's not enough. The other thing I'll say, you said something I have to point out.
Yeah.
You said 90-some thousand is middle class. I totally get that sounds like middle class, but at 90,000, I don't know that depending on where you're teaching, the community in, housing prices in the last 4 years have gone up 47%.
You got a money problem.
I don't know if you feel like middle class, depending on where you live at 90,000. If you're by yourself, am I off base?
No, not at all. But Charlie,
this is great.
I got to tell you, I loved having you come in, man. And
anytime.
The biggest thing I wanted to get to the bottom of, and you started off with, you says, hey, I'm not demonizing teachers. Hey, we good. We good.
Man, I said it 3 times in the commentary. I don't think anyone heard it. So.
Thanks, Charlie Harger.
Good times.
You guys can hear him, of course, host of SMN, Seattle's Morning News, every weekday from 6 to 9 a.m. All right, coming up next, we're going to be talking about billionaires. Well, they can get their education easy, right? They can just pay for their kids to have their own type of school. They can just buy the school. We'll talk about billionaires next. Gee and Ursula with Angela.
The Northwest's trusted news source, KIRO Newsradio.
Police in Federal Way are investigating what appears to be a car explosion.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is live from the neighborhood.
I can't tell you enough how crazy this scene is here.
Coverage you depend on.
A massive police presence in Kent.
From voices you know and trust.
We have an active fire inside one of these buildings here.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Open Phone gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Open Phone lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you and your team can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to Need to take calls on the go? OpenPhone automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With OpenPhone's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to coach your team and level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with OpenPhone. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/free and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/free. openphone.com/FREE.
Bathfitter just hit a big milestone, 42,000 installations in Western Washington. To celebrate, Bathfitter's offering payments as low as $125 a month. Ursula Reutin here. I chose Bathfitter Northwest because they work here, they live here, and they love making bathrooms better for their neighbors. Custom fit tub and shower solutions are installed in as little as 1 day, and every installation is backed by a lifetime warranty. Call Bathfitter or visit bathfitternw.com to schedule a free consultation. This special offer won't last.
Tomorrow night, see Tracy Lawrence live at the Muckleshoot Casino Event Center. Hear the hits you love like Time Marches On and Paint Me a Birmingham. One night only, tomorrow at 8 p.m. Tickets are almost gone. Get yours now for Tracy Lawrence. Tomorrow at Muckleshoot Casino Event Center.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
Hey, it's John Curley with Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. Doc, I heard that 50% of Americans have their lenses replaced by the time they're 75.
That's exactly right, John. As we near 50, our eye's natural lens starts to become dysfunctional. If you've now added readers to your need for glasses and contacts, it's a sign the quality and function of your natural lens is fading, and it's a steady decline towards cataracts.
Don't go another 20 plus years with poor vision, hassling with contacts and readers. Do what I did. Choose a quick, painless refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE and start enjoying great vision now.
Our new lens technology is truly amazing. After replacing over 100,000 lenses, we have the experience to guide each patient to their best solution, even if that's recommending you wait a little while before RLE.
K2 Vision RLE can restore distance and near vision permanently, plus never develop a cataract. Read the reviews and schedule a free Zoom consultation now at k2visionrle.com.
With over 20 new home communities throughout the Puget Sound area, D.R. Horton has the right home for you. Learn more at drhorton.com. That's drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-972-0588. 800-972-0588. 800-972-0588.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
With football season comes cooler weather, so if you need new windows and doors, don't drop the ball. Steve Rabel here. Call on locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington to tackle your project. Their wide selection of windows and doors always beats the competition, and they'll give you top-notch customer service with no trick plays. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Angela Poe Russell is in today for Ursula. All right, quick reality check on the folks with rocket money and ranch money. The new Wall Street Journal data says the United States is home to 1,135 billionaires, up from 927 just 4 years ago. And together, they're sitting on about $5.7 trillion. About a third started with family wealth. 5 dynasties along add up to roughly $830 billion. Meanwhile, the top 100 richest capture over half of the total pie. Musk, Bezos, and Zuckerberg are close to $1 trillion all by themselves. What about giving back? Well, since 2015, known billionaire donations total about $185 billion, with the biggest chunks going to education and medical research. But a quarter of America's billionaires have given less than $1 million over the last decade. Some gifts are giant. Mike Bloomberg's $5 billion donation to Johns Hopkins, but largely the bulk of that $185 billion came from a few with a very little given by the most. But if you want to join the billionaire class, there is a $1.3 billion Powerball jackpot that is still up for grabs. Your thoughts, Angela? What's happening?
You know, I've always been struck on a smaller scale that I often see the people who don't have be the most generous. I've seen this over and over again, and I never. It's like almost the more you make, the more sometimes people try to hold on and don't give back. So, you would think at the billionaire level that wouldn't be a thing, but it absolutely seems to be, where you have people that are giving more who make less proportionally. If
net salary, if I made $100,000 a year for the next 10 years, how much money would that be?
Oh, you're going to make me do math?
Yeah.
That's $1 million.
$1 million.
Yeah.
If I make $100,000 a year for the next 10,000 years, that's $1 billion. All I'm trying to do is, I think sometimes we really lose perspective on $1 billion. We, me, you, everybody, we just throw out $1 billion and thought that sound billion like it's nothing. We just started talking about $1 trillion. That was just recent.
I don't even remember. Like, trillion used to just be a math thing we talked about, not something people actually had.
Right, like some of these planets, like we talked about them, but nobody's actually gone to those planets. One of the things that really, because sometimes we have this discussion, we talk about billionaires, and it almost seems like, I'll speak for myself, that I am anti and I hate billionaires. No. That's not it. But what I do know and understand, that if we stay on this current here trajectory, this will be the downfall of America. There's no way we can continue on like this. There's really two tiers right now, right? There's going to be the extreme rich and the extremely poor. And so for the working class, the people that are doing okay right now, the air quotes, the doing okay will one day be extremely poor. That's my point. And I understand billionaires having support for each other in the billionaire world. I just don't understand the support by the poor for billionaires.
I don't understand that either, except I think at least what I've heard through people on the text line is that, well, if you come for them, it'll be me next. I don't know. It's thinking that I could be that one day, and That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah.
But somehow that doesn't translate to other issues.
You know what's getting ready to expedite this entire conversation that you're saying right now?
What?
AI. AI is about to expedite all of this.
Absolutely.
Everything that we're talking about right now, we're going to expedite. And somebody says, well, gee, what are you talking about? Well, for that AI that you have used for those tasks, remember, it's going to eliminate those jobs that used to be. There used to be that assistant. That assistant's job was, hey, can you get this right wording done for me? Can you send off this letter? Can you send this email? Can you prepare this speech? Can you put up this meal plan? Can you put together this workout plan?
It will do a meal plan for it. I did that. I was like, AI just did a meal plan. Oh my gosh. Here's some recipes. Yeah.
All right, good stuff. Angela hanging out with us here on the Gee and Ursula Show. We got the 10 o'clock hour coming up next. We're going to tell you what is new at 10. Stick around.
Your time is money. So why are you wasting it stuck in I-5 gridlock, TSA slowdowns, and SeaTac crowds? Isn't it time to travel smarter? Seaport Airlines offers high-frequency commuter shuttle service from Seattle's Boeing Field to Portland. Park for free next to our terminals. Check in 20 minutes before your departure. Get there faster without the hassles. Seaport Airlines. It's about time. Book today at flyseaportair.com.
Hartley here from Wilcox Family Farms. I'm so excited to have my cousin Amelia with me today. So I saw that you visited the baby chicks.
I got to hold 7 of them. They were so cute.
Do you know why Wilcox chickens are so happy?
Because they get to play outside?
Yes.
Happy chickens are healthy chickens.
From our farm to your table, Wilcox Family Farms eggs. Locally fresh
since 1909.
I love a day on the water with friends, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis sometimes holds me back. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
Teaching music is my passion, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm treating my joint symptoms with Skyrizi.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months.
Or if you are an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
Are you happy with how you feel these days? Are you slowing down physically or mentally? Ever wonder what your life will be like 10 to 15 years from now? Most of us don't really know how we're aging or if we can even do anything about it. But here's the truth. Knowledge is power, and that's exactly where we start at Longevity Medical Clinic. We run advanced diagnostics to find out what's really going on inside your body, and then we create a personalized hormone and health optimization plan designed specifically to help you live better starting now. Our patients are often amazed by what they discover in their blood work, and even more amazed at how quickly they start to feel like themselves again. This isn't guesswork, it's science, it's personal, and it works. Take the first step today. Call 866-86-YOUNG or visit longevitymedicalclinic.com to schedule your free consultation. Longevity Medical Clinic. Feel better today and every day after that.
Mint is still $15 a month for premium wireless. And if you haven't made the switch yet, here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's $15 a month. 3, no big contracts. 4, I use it. 5, my mom uses it. Are you playing me off? That's what's happening, right? Okay.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Here's the tale of the daily med fill. Same old pharmacy, same old bill, but those prices kept rising. higher still.
Till the savings Wrangler rode in, cool as can be. Tap GoodRx, saving massively.
No plan? Don't matter none. Up to 80% off. The deals are done.
Discounts hitting harder than Ma's chili. Dang, that one little app does all the rest.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
Save 50 to 75% by combining tax credits, rebates, and incentives on a new heat pump from Home Comfort Alliance. Visit homecomfortalliance.com.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. The drumbeat gets louder as Jeffrey Epstein accusers join with some lawmakers in both parties in the nation's capital to call on the Justice Department to release all the Epstein files.
President Trump has called the Epstein files a hoax, but survivor Marina Lacerda, speaking publicly for the first time, says,
"This is not a hoax. It's not going to go away."
Other survivors chimed in.
"It is not okay for us to be silenced."
Many survived death threats and humiliation, adding,
"This is therapy for all of us, too."
It's time you do what's right by us. Unseal all the documents.
Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
Next stop for federal troops figures to be Chicago, despite pushback from local leaders and the Illinois governor. And today, President Trump suggested forces could be deployed to New Orleans.
We're going to be going to maybe Louisiana. And you have New Orleans, which has a crime problem. We'll straighten that out in about 2 weeks. It'll take us 2 weeks.
The woman dubbed the ketamine queen formally pleaded guilty today to selling drugs to Matthew Perry that led to the actor's fatal overdose. Jasveen Sangha is the fifth defendant to admit guilt in the case. Now to New York, where a judge has allowed DNA evidence obtained through advanced techniques into the upcoming murder trial of the man accused of 7 killings in Long Island's Gilgo Beach case. CBS New York's Jennifer McLogan.
A major victory for prosecutors who argued for months that cutting-edge DNA analysis used by a California lab, its nuclear DNA testing software, and whole genome sequencing methods should have been admissible in part because results have been corroborated by a second lab.
Officials in Florida say that state will work to eliminate all child vaccine mandates. And the governors of Washington, Oregon, and California say they'll form a healthcare alliance on vaccines to set their own guidelines in light of major changes at the CDC. The latest Republican redistricting effort is underway today as we hear from CBS's Jennifer Kuiper.
Missouri Governor Michael Kehoe has called for this special legislative session to redraw the state's U.S. House districts.
This is about clarity for voters.
Missouri Republicans have a supermajority and can vote without any Democratic members present.
New wildfires in California are getting an assist from gusty winds and scorching temperatures. CBS's Rob Marciano.
Red flag warnings are up across Northern California, parts of eastern Oregon, and extreme heat warnings continue for eastern Washington, Spokane, Pendleton, over towards the Dalles. Temperatures up and over 100 degrees in Yakima. That's way above average by near 22 degrees.
Wall Street, the Dow is down more than 200 points. S&P and NASDAQ are higher. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Get renter's insurance to protect the things that make your place a home, including coverage for theft or damage. Visit Progressive.com.
A new way to steal cars, reprogramming key fobs. The story coming up, but first, KIRO Newsradio traffic. A crash is blocking a lane on I-5 southbound near Mercer Street. A crash is blocking a lane eastbound on the West Seattle Bridge, who are slow to about mid-span. Travel time, Federal Way to Seattle is 62 minutes. That's 24 longer than usual. The only slowdown I'm really seeing is as you get into Seattle. Travel time runs into Bellevue 48 minutes, about 10 longer than typical. Traffic brought to you by Seattle Sports. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial on 97.3 HD2.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. A major drug bust in Seattle after police say they arrested a man who had cocaine, meth, and more than 5,000 fentanyl pills.
A photo released by SPD shows a large clear plastic bag filled with those small blue fentanyl pills right next to a bundle of cash, crack cocaine, and more than 1,000 grams of meth. Seattle Seattle police say they chased and arrested the 33-year-old suspect on Labor Day. They say they found the drugs inside his car. The bust comes on the heels of a violent weekend in Seattle, including 2 shootings, a stabbing, and the arrest of 2 suspected prolific car thieves. Luke Tucci, KIRO News Radio.
Seattle police interrupted an attempted car theft using a device to reprogram key fobs. Detective Eric Munoz tells KIRO 7 TV.
We saw that the key fob programmer had a failure screen on it. So I don't know if they would have been successful, but because of Seattle police officers, they were not.
Officers also recovered stolen IDs, car hacking gear, and 2 loaded guns. One of them was illegally modified with an auto switch. The new school year is underway in Bellevue, but not before major cuts. The district is short tens of millions of dollars. District Superintendent Kelly Aramaki tells KIRO 7 TV.
Anything that we could cut, like supply budgets and things like that, we basically stopped spending. A lot of our school leaders and staff took furloughs. That did help us with spending.
Still, they had to cut about 100 positions. With Sound Transit facing cost overruns and delays, Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell says the city will step in to help.
Harrell says the city will streamline the city's permitting processes, and he will add bodies to the city's team working with Sound Transit on expansion to Ballard and West Seattle.
We have to advance our projects quickly. Every single day of delay adds unnecessary expense to taxpayers.
Harold says it is unclear whether cost overruns might compromise expansion plans, but he hopes not. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Security guards at sites including Sound Transit, Amazon, Microsoft, and Meta could soon go on strike. KIRO 7 TV's Ranji Sinha explains.
The union for security personnel, SEIU 6, said wage increases of 30 cents were just not sufficient for the first year of a new contract. Because of that, union members voted down the latest contract proposal.
This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunshine with highs in the low 80s. It's 69 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday, September 3rd, or the 3rd of September, however you want to say it. Angela Poe Russell is in for Ursula today. Angela, good morning to you.
Good morning, G.
How was the first hour of the show?
It was tough. I mean, we got into some really deep conversations. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I like that they were nuanced and complex, and all of you saw that, all of you texting. You can just see the diversity of viewpoints. Yeah. It's awesome. Yeah. How was it for you?
It was good. You know what it reminds me of?
What?
It reminds me of just at work, right? Like if there's someone listening right now, you work with other people, right? And some of the other people that you probably work with, they probably don't work like you. Some folks, you got that one person that's been there, is like, hey, I got 2 more years to retirement. I ain't doing nothing. You got those people who just relax at work. I'm going to start doing that, relaxing at work. Americans are now spending less every year on fresh produce than they do on something that blows my mind. You are not going to believe what we're wasting so much money on. And some of you are going to be real mad at me. Shocker. All right.
First the teachers, now what?
Yeah, you're going to be real mad at me. All right, Angela, let's get to what we got new here. What do you got for us?
What's new at 10?
Okay, let's do it. Okay, so let's see. A big development out of Pierce County. Multicare's Mary Bridge Children's Hospital in Tacoma, the only provider of gender-affirming medical care for youth in the county, is stopping new patient intake and halting prescriptions for puberty blockers and hormone therapy after September 12th. Current patients will keep getting their meds, but no new starts, no wait list, and much of the clinic's gender care info has been scrubbed from the hospital's website. Parents say that these treatments save their kids' lives, and research backs them up. Major studies show gender-affirming care can cut youth suicide by over 70%. One Tacoma mom said her family felt pressured into making a decision now because once the door shut, her 13-year-old daughter may never get access again. Now, the reason behind this, of course, federal policy, changing federal expectations. The hospital says protecting patients, families, and staff in an uncertain time. But critics argue it's fear driving the policy, not medicine. So at this point, Seattle Children's is the only place to have that gender-affirming care in terms of the hormones, but they're already scaling back services.
Okay.
So this is the only place in Pierce County that was doing it.
Right. Hey, Angela, have you ever had to go through any of this stuff within your family?
Never. I mean, I have a distant relative who went, but I don't know deeply her story.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that reading, regardless of where you are on this issue, I really encourage you to read some articles as families of transgender youth talk about their stories. It really helps you understand it better. So no, I haven't gone through it, but reading their stories, I really sympathize and don't blame them for wanting to seek treatment.
Yeah. Has there ever been any topics that you have and talked about where you didn't understand or you didn't know about it, you didn't understand it, and once you started to learn more about that topic, you became more understanding?
That's this topic.
This one
That's
right here,
absolutely
right?
this topic. Yeah, because I'd been saying, until someone's 18, I'm not a huge fan of doing much because their brains are still developing. They could change their mind, that kind of thing.
Right.
So I still feel that way with surgery. But with the hormone thing, I understand it. Because once a kid goes through puberty, you can't make the adjustments. Like if you, for example, they featured a girl who took puberty blockers when she was around 11. So as a result, she feels good. So this was a person born as a boy, became a girl. And she said how I now look like the other girls because I never had all this rush of testosterone. I feel comfortable. I feel good about myself. She's now in college in Bellingham and is so great. And so when we talk about these athletic things, part of the problem, I shouldn't say, or the issue, is that these people have gone through puberty. But if you actually do the hormone therapy before they go through it, I think it solves a lot of the issues that they have later on. Does that make sense?
No, it does.
Okay.
And I feel like a lot of topics that we discuss, specifically this being one of them, right? I feel like there's not a lot of people that have actual information about this. Like they have themselves have never gone to a doctor's appointment with a loved one during that time. They've never gone, because I know I haven't. You know what I mean? I've never gone through that. But when I look at the ignorance that gets spewed and talked about, and they take the word of this person, and then what happens is there's so much misinformation. I'm saying all that to say, I can honestly tell everyone, I've read up on this stuff. I've been reading up on it consistently, constantly, all the time.
Love that.
Right? Hold on. Even though I have been reading up on these things, I have never been in the shoes as a patient, as a parent, as a doctor. And what I'm trying to say is that it is so much different when you have been in the shoes and you've actually been in that room, as opposed to, I can read here till I'm blue in the face. Before preparing for this show, I sat here, and you know what I could have done? I could have sat here and given you what this study says and this study says and all of these different studies.
But you don't know what it's like.
But I don't know what it's like.
You don't know what it's like. I mean, you can imagine, you can talk to, yes, all of those things. Yeah.
So here's my next question would be, if I can sit there and say that, how can I read all the information, admit that I've never been in that room, the doctor, been in the shoes of that parent or patient? How can I still have hate? That's the part that I don't understand. If you've never been in it, do you choose the hate? Do you base that hate off of what someone else said? Or do you base that hate off of your lived experience in that moment? And what I don't see very often is from that perspective. I have never once, since we've been talking about this in 5.5, almost 6 years, I haven't had a parent text in and say, hey, Gee, I would love to come on you all show and show you and talk to you about something that you're not talking about. So I just wanted to talk about it in a different way. So thank you, Angela. What other stuff
I
you got for
appreciate
us?
that. Okay, so next story. Forgive me, I'm a little bit slow to the punch. Okay,
Sorry.
close to 5,000 unionized security officers across King County have voted to authorize a strike. We're talking about the people who monitor Seattle Transit, airports, even some big tech campuses. Their union, SEIU 6, says the latest offer, a 30-cent raise. Is that a raise of 30 cents?
No, there's no missing decimal point there.
A raise of 30
cents.
cents was basically an insult. Median pay sits under $55,000 a year, but according to a housing report, you need closer to $92,000 just to cover a one-bedroom apartment in King County. We just had this discussion about teachers and $90,000 and what that will get you. Union leaders warned the impact would be immediate. Think about the December tragedy when Metro driver Sean Yim was fatally stabbed. Union reps argue their officers often act like first responders in moments like that. Without them, public safety on buses and trains could take a serious hit. So I have a question for you. Is a 30-cent raise an insult?
I didn't mean to laugh because I just wasn't prepared for your question. And so that was a very uncomfortable laugh is what you got right there.
That's okay.
Yes, it is. It is definitely an insult. Even during the break, I tried to practice on Chef. And I looked him and I called him by his government name. And I said, hey, Andrew Lanier, I just want you to know that our company, we feel and we love everything that you're doing. As a matter of fact, our company, we look at you as family. By the way, whenever your employer tells you that the company looks at you like family, just know that that pay raise or that pay that you're going to get is disrespectful. As soon as they call you family, it's disrespect. Okay, back to it. I looked at Chef and I said, hey, we love everything that you do here. We value you and value you so much that in 2025, we want to give you a 30-cent raise. Angela?
It's just a bad negotiating tactic. So I have to assume this was some kind of negotiation tactic. It was a bad one. There's a fine line between having a strategy and throwing something out there that will just make people angrier. Because I've had those moments where someone offered me something. Listen, it was one of the biggest lessons I learned, started in my 20s, and it was insulting. And it makes you so angry, you end up wanting more just because of the fact that you did that. Mm-hmm. And I walked away. I've gotten really good. So I don't blame them for talking about, they voted to authorize the strike. Listen, here's what I don't understand. If a company is able to justify that, look at our numbers, we are losing money, so we can't give you a raise this year, and they show evidence of that, I understand that. I mean, it makes sense. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times this stuff happens, and you look at their portfolio, and they're winning. Mm-hmm. And somehow there's no raise, or I'm supposed to go backwards. I mean, and this isn't even a cost of living.
No.
This isn't even a cost of living.
Now, some would say, then you need to choose another profession, because some people believe that the security guard world, right, that their pay, as a matter of fact, you just said, how much is the pay?
It's median pay, $55,000. I have a sweeping statement. Do we have the little sweeping statement? Uh-huh. If you work for a company that doesn't pay you enough to fulfill your basic needs, and you have to turn to the government for food or some other stuff, that company has to reimburse the government. Period. I just, especially, it's one thing if you are losing money. None of these companies we talk about, if I look at some of the fast food places, and they say, well, get a different job. It's like McDonald's. Okay, I'm not going to. Some of these companies are making billions of dollars, and then their workers are having to rely on federal assistance. Right. So why not make the companies reimburse the federal government? You got to pay for not paying your people enough to live.
Sure.
That is a sweeping statement.
No,
It's a hot take.
It is a hot take because it's been well documented what Walmart has done in this country, right? Some of their workers having to have their income supplemented by the taxpayer. But
no one's struggling except for the people working.
I want to say, there are some that believe that certain professions should not, it's okay to underpay them. And I just want to say, be careful of thinking that way, because ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. And what I mean by that is let me show you how this works. For someone that would say, well, if you're a security guard, you need to just go get another job. Okay. Then you have to keep that same energy for the person that went to school for so long to learn to code. Right? Somebody going to school, learn to code, they get out of school, what happened? What happened to coding now? Right? So now, are you going to say, well, hey, sorry, you went to school, learn how to code. You better go pick another profession. We have to stop looking at a job and demonizing someone, telling them, well, you shouldn't make that much of pay. This is why I'm such an advocate of higher wages for all. I believe if you work 40 hours a week, you do what you're supposed to do, full-time job, you should be able to afford a house. You should be able to live and work in the town that you reside in, all that stuff.
Here's the flaw with that logic of just go get a better job. What if everyone actually had the ability to do that? There would be no one to flip your burgers. There would be no one to guard the shop at night, etc. All of the lower wage jobs would be completely vacated. And the simple fact is, a lot of people can't change their situation. And if people at the bottom can't make enough to live on, who are they relying on to pick them up? Taxpayers. To your point, Angela. It's taxpayers that have to pick up the bill.
So, right, we're picking up the bill. Meanwhile, these companies are bringing in billions of dollars in profits. It makes no sense.
Right.
Like, it doesn't make any sense. So I think there should be a penalty. If your employee is over there having to rely on food stamps and they're working for you 40 hours a week, tax.
Like, for example, Microsoft, their 39% profits in one quarter equaling $25 billion. How many contract workers doing janitorial services at Microsoft are getting paid $19 an hour right now?
That part.
Yep.
Okay.
We got time for one more?
Yeah, we got time for one more. Okay, 3 years after initial testing in Bellevue, self-driving car company Waymo is expanding to Seattle. The Alphabet-owned firm, already operating in cities like San Francisco and Phoenix, are going to test the electric vehicles from Jaguar and is it Zeekr? Is that how you say it? Zeekr? I've never heard of them. On local streets this week. Now, these cars won't be fully autonomous yet. They're going to start with human drivers as part of the safety validation process. No timeline for when they'll go driverless. And one of the reasons they're drawn here is because of the wet weather. They say the experience in each city is speeding up development. People, well, first of all, how do you feel about Waymo?
I love Waymo. Down in Scottsdale and Phoenix and everything. Oh, love Waymo. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, in Denver, it's going to be full-time service expected this fall in Denver. So you can only imagine how close it'll be here in Seattle. How do you feel about Waymo?
I was a little suspicious before reading up and having some facts.
Oh, you read up on it?
Imagine that.
Whoever sits in for Ursula has to do the research.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, so they've had some accidents. Federal regulators did an investigation. They looked at a dozen minor crashes and some possible traffic violations where Waymo hit parked vehicles and other stationary objects. But ultimately, they wrapped up the investigation, no action. And Waymo, when they conducted their own study, said they had 92% fewer crashes involving pedestrians and 82% fewer compared to human drivers, over 56 million miles. Here's what's exciting as I see it.
Okay.
We talked about elderly people having to take the keys.
Yeah.
We've had people for so many reasons who can't drive. And I'm excited about us getting the tech right so that we can create this freedom for people to be able to be independent and go. How do you feel? You love Waymo, but in terms of the safety piece of this.
Waymo is a lot safer than some of y'all up out here.
Texting?
No.
Watching movies while you drive?
Okay, now let me take all funniness out of my voice right now, so I don't want anybody to think that I make it. We have accidents all the time with people here in this state. As a matter of fact, the state of Washington is the leader when it comes to this. I totally believe that Waymo is the future, one. And another reason as to why, I bet you your husband Vic would feel way more comfortable with you getting from the airport late at night, if maybe he were asleep or something like that, late at night with you in a Waymo than you in a regular Lyft or Uber.
Can we just talk about if I were at the airport and my husband didn't pick me up because he was asleep? We would have problems on both ends.
Why?
We get each other from the airport. You don't do that?
I don't make my. I would say, and you guys, hold on. You guys know I travel often. I would say that my wife takes me or picks me up from the airport probably 10% of the time. Me, it would be 100% of the time with her. So, anyway.
Well, that's good. That's
All
good.
Right, here we go. Coming up next, we got scenarios that's happening, and we got more. I got to tell you. We're going to tell you what Americans are now spending less money on every year than fresh produce. Do that next.
This hour is brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington.
Man wide open, touchdown Seahawks!
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football with the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel.
Number 71, Walter Jones, left tackle. The anchor to the left side of the offensive line for the Seahawks that went to the Super Bowl. One of the best players in franchise history.
Since the beginning, KIRO is where Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have heard the Seahawks play. Here's to the next 50 years.
Goodbye, baseball. Home runs in 3 consecutive games. Cal Raleigh, the big dumper.
The Mariners' postseason push is on, and there's a whole new way to be part of the action. Introducing the Homestretch Flex Plan, a $500 membership that gives you the freedom to choose your games and seats for the rest of the season, all while saving 5% on tickets and no fees.
Strike 3 call. Triple digits to end it and complete the sweep.
You can use your credit however you want. Go big with club seats for a couple high-stakes showdowns, or stretch it out until the final series against the Dodgers. And the best part? Homestretch Flex members get priority access to our postseason pre-sale. That means you're first in line when October comes calling. The team is locked in.
J.P. Crawford! Game winner, walk-off fashion in the 9th inning.
And now it's time to bring the energy down the stretch. Come on board today at mariners.com/homestretch. Mariners baseball. Try dance up.
Looking for high-quality assisted living that won't drain your life savings? At Care Partners Living, we offer compassionate care at a price that helps stretch and preserve your estate. No unnecessary luxury, just the support you need with dignity and heart. And if you ever need to convert to Medicaid, you don't have to move. With communities across Washington and Arizona, including new locations in Port Orchard, Sumner, Mercer Island, and North Creek Bothell, there's a Care Partners community near you. Care Partners Living, compassionate care and peace of mind. Visit carepartnersliving.com.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-972-0588. 800-972-0588. 800-972-0588.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. OpenPhone gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. OpenPhone lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you and your team can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? OpenPhone automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With OpenPhone's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to coach your team and level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with OpenPhone. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/free and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/free. openphone.com/FREE.
Upgrade your home comfort and save 20% during the Bob's Heating preseason furnace sale. With great savings plus free financing on heat pumps, water heaters, generators, and more, our award-winning team has what you need to stay cozy this chilly season at a cost you're comfortable with. Voted best in the Pacific Northwest, we're honored to be your dedicated home comfort company since 1957. Call Bob's and save today.
Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Bob.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For them, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch.
It's really a Democrat hoax.
That's what President Trump called a news conference today where survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking operations stood alongside some lawmakers. They're demanding that all government files on Epstein be released, including client lists. But survivor Lisa Phillips added this.
Us Epstein survivors have been discussing creating our own list. We know the names. Many of us were abused by them. Now, together as survivors, we will confidentially compile the names we all know.
President Trump today met with Poland's president. He says he's disappointed he wasn't mentioned at a summit hosted by China's president that included Russian President Vladimir Putin and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un.
I was very surprised. I watched the speech last night. President Xi's a friend of mine, but I thought that the United States should have been mentioned last night during that speech because we helped China.
The governors of Washington, Oregon, and California say their states are coming up with their own vaccine guidance and recommendations. This comes after the CDC director, a veteran government scientist, was forced out and other leaders left in protest. Public health data that disappeared from federal government websites is coming back. John Bramhall is president of the Washington State Medical Association, which sued after the info was eliminated.
And it's not gone because it was wrong, and it's not gone because it was outdated. It's gone because of a political pressure from the administration.
It vanished after President Trump signed executive orders to remove gender ideology and DEI programs, but doctors complain that all kinds of data disappeared, including information on sexually transmitted diseases, contraception, diabetes outreach, and more. There's another bit of evidence that the labor market is slowing down. CBS's Jason Brooks.
July job openings declined by about 200,000 to less than 7.2 million, while the closely followed quits rate remained at 2%. a historically low level, and a signal that most workers are content with their current gigs.
Self-driving cars are coming to Seattle. Waymo says it's bringing its robo-taxis to town this week. That's the company owned by Google's parent, Alphabet. They already have more than 1,500 vehicles in cities like San Francisco and Phoenix. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 192 points, NASDAQ up 193. KIRO News Radio traffic. In Seattle, the crash has been cleared from I-5 southbound near Mercer Street, but now there's a crash on I-5 northbound near Seneca Street. You're slow back to Boeing Field. A crash is blocking a lane eastbound on the West Seattle Bridge. You are slow to mid-span. Traffic brought to you by KIRO News Radio. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunshine today with highs in the low 80s. It's 69 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
It is the Gee Ursula Show. Good morning. Angela Poe Russell is in for Ursula today. Let's get to it.
What's new at 10?
I don't know how that happened, but I hit the wrong button. Shocker. Get ready to get mad at me.
Uh-oh. Well, that's another new. Old hat.
Wait, when you're not here, Angela, you listen to the show from time to time.
I do. And when I miss it, I listen on the podcast.
How often do you get mad at me?
You know what? Because I think we have a good relationship.
Yeah.
Instead of getting mad, it's more of just disagreement.
Do you get frustrated with me?
Yes. Especially when you try to do the lawyer thing. Like, you haven't been to law school and yet you'll try to lay out. He'll say, so you agree that when you went the other day that it was like, you were doing that this morning.
Okay. So I want to see if you're going to get mad at me after this.
Okay.
This stat blew my mind. Last year, Americans spent more on pets than we did on fresh produce. We spent about $152 billion on these animals. Food, treats, vet care, supplies, the whole 9 yards. Compare that to only $90 billion for fresh produce. That's about $1,200 spent annually on pets per household compared to about $700 on fresh produce. Just this week, the Seattle Times writes about the Seattle Catio Tour. Do you know what a catio is?
No.
C-A-T-I-O. Catio. That's a tour of enclosed outdoor patios for cats that people build onto their homes. Catio is a patio for cats. Now, before we continue...
Most definitely a thing. Angela looks really confused.
So people build a catio.
They build a catio.
Okay, so it's not for when guests come over and you entertain. It's for just a place for your cat to hang outdoors.
They're being responsible pet owners because they don't want to let their cats out in the backyard either get eaten or eat other things, but they still want to get an outdoor space.
You know what? Here's one. This is a literal quote. In Ballard, Pam Reynolds showcased her 12-foot-tall, 5-level catio built by Catio Spaces last fall for $9,000. The enclosure blends into her side yard, surrounded by cat-friendly plants. The simple yet strategically designed catio has room for people, along with Reynolds, 3 cats, Frankie, Marvin, and Macy Gray.
So this is like how you can build this little hamster world in a cage and you can put the slides and the things, except in this case, this is a real constructed, there are companies that do it and build your nice catio.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't want to get sidetracked on catio. I want to get to the point where some of y'all about to be mad at me.
Okay, let's do it.
It is ridiculous if you spend more on your pets than fresh produce every year. Does that make you mad?
It doesn't make me mad.
Okay.
It doesn't make me mad.
So you agree
but you're
with
not
me.
stepping on my toe. I'm not, I'm not. I feel like I need more context. Like, for example,
Okay,
TJ
Ursula.
just texted. Okay, TJ just said, well, have you seen what vet care costs? So is some of this stuff, hey, I'm needing to save my animal, and so I'd like to buy the fresh produce. But
Now, how many times do you have you're not saving your animal the entire 12 to 18 years that you had the animal. Year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6, year 7, year 8.
Yes.
Not till 11,
Text
12.
in, y'all. No, I absolutely have friends. I mean, and she even said, like, probably in another household, this cat would not still be here. But they have had several surgeries. They've gone back. It's their pet. It's like a part of the family.
You don't have any animals, do you? When you did have animals, was there a certain threshold and certain price point you had?
No, I never had them. Well, okay, let me stop. We had a hamster, and we do life-saving support for the hamster. We went to the emergency room, paid a few $100s to get it back, and then it ended up dying anyway.
Right. Now, do you think, Chef Angela, and y'all know I ain't done no research on these questions I'm going to ask, do you think that the reason why the cost of giving money, cost for pets, has gone up because people are having less kids?
Ooh. I don't know. But
yes, because because some people, I mean, how many folks call them their fur babies, right?
Or their pet parents.
And like they get them the designer dog treats and like the grooming packages every month. And they've got the pet stroller and the car seats and they do the doggy daycare and boarding, and they have someone walk them during the day when they're at work. That stuff is expensive. Yeah. Like, we don't do that, but I did the math for our dog Valentine. She's 14 now. And between the cost of food, boarding her for like 2 vacations and 1 visit to the vet, easily $1,200.
You know what? I think I've changed. D from Bellevue, and a lot of you all are texting right now. D from Bellevue makes a good point, says pets are cheaper than having and raising children. So if you're spending, what did we just say right there? If you're spending $1,200 a year on a pet, cat, dog, you probably wouldn't spend that on a hamster. That's not bad. I know you spending more of that on Matthew and Alice per year. Am I right?
I spend significantly more than that on just 1 month of Alice's daycare, for sure.
Someone just told me that there was a daycare that for babies, let's say young under toddler, and it was running more than $2,000 a month.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's happening here.
Yeah. By the way, you want to know? Want to know a fun animal fact, Angela? Because you said that your hamster died. This is either going to horrify some people or really save you. A lot of times when people's hamsters are dead, they're actually in mini hibernation. So if they get below 65 degrees, they'll feel cool to the touch. They won't move. They don't look like they're breathing. So a lot of people think their hamsters are dead when they're actually not.
Yeah. Well, we took her to the emergency room and they revived her. Maybe it was this whole thing. But so
maybe the second time. Got a cold room. Be careful.
Well, we didn't want to have to go. Well, here's the deal. Is there ever a limit on what you would pay for your dog who's 14 years old?
Hamster?
I mean, I'm talking about your dog.
Don't
Valentine.
put me in that. Don't put me in that chair.
Well, I think. I mean, okay, maybe we don't have this. I'm just making.
I know what you mean, though.
What's your
2,000?
The one thing that I gotta say that I changed my status. You all know I got Frankie and Vito. I have cats, and my biggest expense for them is their treats, and they get well. By the way, my wife. If any of you all have animals, hear me out for a second. Anybody have animals here, and you give your animals treats, and one of you are real stingy with the treats, and one of you are really, showing love with the treats. I don't know why my wife is so selfish with the treats. She gives them like 2 to 3.
Is she the one buying it? If she's buying the treats.
Whoa. She buys the treats upstairs. I buy the treats from downstairs because there's upstairs, downstairs treats.
Okay.
Now the upstairs treats, she be so behind her back, and when she ain't looking, man, I be grabbing handfuls. Boom, here you go.
You get a treat. So, but are you going to do a catio though?
I mean,
why not? Why not?
Think about it. All right, scenarios coming up next.
Man wide open, touchdown Seahawks. celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football with the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel.
Number 71, Walter Jones, left tackle. The anchor to the left side of the offensive line for the Seahawks that went to the Super Bowl. One of the best players in franchise history.
Since the beginning, KIRO is where Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have heard the Seahawks play. Here's to the next 50 years.
Jim Singletary here, Chief Roof Nerd at RoofSmart, where we're not afraid to tell you no. Looking for a roofing company that'll do cheap, fast work and just cover up the problem? No, that's not us. Want a quick quote without a real inspection? Nope. Just want a price without knowing your options? Not happening. Look, we don't want to tell you no, but if saying yes means cut corners, bad results, or wasted money, we won't do it. Period. And here's the deal. Seattle gets 150 rainy days a year. That's not wait and see weather, it's call RoofSmart now weather. We say no to leaky roofs, sloppy work, and bad estimates, and yes to thorough inspections, accurate quotes, and top quality work that actually lasts. So if you want an honest roofer who's not afraid to say no to bad work, call RoofSmart today at 206-487-4877 or visit GetRoofSmart.com. That's 206-487-4877 or GetRoofSmart.com.
Hey everyone, Hartley Wilcox here. And I'm Charlie Wilcox from Wilcox Family Farms. Our family's been raising hens and gathering fresh eggs right here for over 100 years.
That's right. Our hens roam free on green pastures, soaking up the sunshine and living their best chicken lives.
We don't do shortcuts. No cages, no chemicals, just honest-to-goodness eggs laid fresh every day.
And when you buy Wilcox eggs, you're not just getting breakfast. You're supporting local farmers like us. Clean food, and a family that's been doing it right for generations.
So next time you're at the grocery store,
skip the out-of-state eggs and grab the ones with our name on them.
Wilcox Family Farms. Fresh, local, trusted. Find fresh Wilcox eggs at Safeway, Albertsons, or Town and Country markets. And for a healthy snack on the go, grab some ready-to-eat hard-boiled eggs in a convenient to-go 2-pack. Wilcox Family Farms eggs, locally fresh since 1909.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Care Partners Senior Living is growing. Amanda here. We are very excited to introduce our newest communities in Port Orchard, Sumner, and North Creek Bothell, bringing compassionate, quality care at an affordable price, closer to more of you. Visit carepartnersliving.com today.
Tomorrow night, see Tracy Lawrence live at the Muckleshoot Casino Event Center. Hear the hits you love like Time Marches On and Paint Me a Birmingham, one night only, tomorrow at 8 p.m. Tickets are almost gone. Get yours now for Tracy Lawrence, tomorrow at Muckleshoot Casino Event Center.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This is the Gee Ursula Show. Angela Poe Russell is in for Ursula. Before I get to scenarios, 360 text in and says, Gee, please don't talk bad about pet stuff. There's enough human BS to fill hours. Love you. You know what? You're right. You're right. Scenarios. Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? My wife's father just passed away, and she inherited a huge ship's bell that was in her dad's backyard. When it was time for dinner, he rang the bell, which was a signal for all of the kids to come home. It's nostalgic and a connection to her family. I want to install it in our yard because it's unique in an important way to remind her about her parents. She wants to get rid of it, and I can't figure out why. It belongs to her, but I think she will regret giving it away if she doesn't keep it. What should I do here? 888-973-5476 is the text line. Angela, you up the bat first.
Store it and don't tell her. I think if she just gives it away or dumps it, you never know if she'll regret it later on, especially if she just had the loss of her father. You're going through a grieving process. You may not be thinking straight. So I feel like the best thing that you can do is put it in, I don't know how big it is. So either storage or hide it. And then if one day she kind of regrets it, you can be the hero. And if she never brings it up, then get rid of it.
Depends on how big that dang thing is, though.
It depends on how big it is.
Because, like, if it's the size of, a child stroller or something, that's going to be a problem.
No, you can store that somewhere.
What are you talking about? Our houses are stuffed with things. You can literally find room in your house for, something the size of a small desk?
I bet you can find a friend or someplace with a little room to store it, or you can find some cheap little storage unit. They have those little storage units that literally are big enough just to put boxes. They're not that expensive. And if he has the money, I would do that. And that way if for some reason this is just some grieving thing and she doesn't want it right now, then you still have it available to her later.
Well, I think scrap brass is going for about $3 a pound right now. So don't get rid of it. Just turn a little profit.
It's sentimental.
Not to her. Maybe it's a painful memory for her.
I can't understand why you just don't do what she says, bruh. She said get rid of it. She shouldn't have to explain why. I mean, I would think that she knows. She knows about the bell. She grew up with the bell. There's something about that bell that makes her not want to hear it again. There are some TV shows that I cannot watch again because, these are shows of, me and my dad used to like to watch. You know what I mean? Like, everybody does, this, Angela. Everybody does grieving differently.
Yeah.
In different ways.
I just know that feelings, unless dad was a monster, which I'm not getting any indication of that.
Jeez.
Feelings can, wait.
How did you, no, wait a minute.
I said, unless he is. I'm saying.
Why would you even assume that he was a monster?
I'm saying, no, I'm about to make a comment, and I'm saying that unless he is a monster, which we're getting no indication of that.
Okay.
Her feelings can change on this. 5 years from now, she could be like, man, I wish I had that bell.
Yeah.
And right now, have you ever had something where pictures or some kind of memory, like, it's no big deal. And then several years later, you're like, oh, shoot, I wish I could find that, or I wish I still had that.
Can I just be real honest?
Yes.
Angela just gave the best answer off the top, so I had to choose another lane. Aww. I think you nailed it. It's smart.
About storing it?
Yeah.
No, Angela didn't nail it. Not at all. I don't care. And first of all, Angela's family. Remember what I just said about family. But Angela's family to the show. You're not a guest. And I'm telling you, Angela, you're wrong. If the wife said, get rid of it, you get rid of it.
Haven't you learned in relationships you don't always go off what's said at face value?
You know what? And see,
especially from women.
And I'm glad you bring that up. I have said on this show, there's a sweeping statement that women expect for men to read their minds. Am I wrong?
I think that sometimes we can be guilty of that and have to be intentional about communicating what we want.
Why do you guys do that? Why do you guys want us to read your mind? Why can't you just say it? And in this case, she says it. She says, get rid of the bell. Guess what I'm going to do? Get rid of the bell.
Don't. Don't.
What do you mean don't?
Store it. And 5 years from now, you'll be the hero when she's wishing for that bell. And you're going to be like, well, look what I got for you. Hero.
You know, I know what it is. I think the reason why women always want us to read your minds is because you guys have some fascination with some movie that you've watched in the past, and you expect for the husband or the boyfriend or significant other to act like that hero in that movie.
You're the knight in shining armor. Absolutely.
Yeah. Quit watching The Notebook. How about that? Nick, what do you got?
You know, it's a sensitive time in the moment, and sentiment is more important than objective value. But if the wishes were to get rid of it instead of having it for keeps, then for crying out loud, stop keeping the neighbors up and put that bell down before everyone goes out of their mind. Shout out to our old friend Rachel for that one, by the way. But the writing's on the wall. Gee's right. Listen and read the mind of the lady. Get rid of the thing. I don't think she's going to change her mind and want it later if you keep it.
You know what? Listen, I figured something out today. There's a lot of you on this text line that are all texting in, Angela's right. Angela's so right. You just store it.
Okay, listen to what...
You just store it.
Listen to what 425 said. Well, my dad passed away and my sister took everything and threw it in the dumpster. She didn't even ask me first, but years and years later, she sure enough regretted it. So people do things when they're, there was an expert that said for 6 months after someone dies, don't do anything major. Like, just don't do anything major. 6 months.
You say don't do anything major?
Yeah, don't anything major in the 6 months after the death, because you think you're thinking straight, but you might not be.
Man, everybody, look, I think you guys do it for sport. You guys text in and you just want to disagree with me. You know that I am telling the truth. You know it. If your wife tells you right now, get rid of that bell, 99% of you guys are going to get rid of the bell. You're going to go store it? Where? Seattle storage? This storage here? You know how expensive that's going to be?
Be the boss, you got to pay the cost.
All right. We got Agree to Disagree coming up at 11:30. And then, of course, we got to tell you and keep you on top of what's going on in the news. We'll do that next. Gee Ursula with Angela.
The Jake and Spike Show.
I check it late at night when my wife's not looking.
Weekdays, noon to 3.
My favorite thing on my phone, which is my weather app.
First thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
On KIRO Newsradio on 97.3 FM and the KIRO Newsradio app.
Your new beginning starts now. D.R. Horton has new construction homes available throughout the greater Seattle area. With spacious floor plans, flexible living spaces, and home technology packages, you can enjoy more cozy moments and sweet memories in your beautiful new home. With new home communities opening throughout the Seattle area, D.R. Horton has the ideal home for you. Visit drhorton.com to learn more. D.R. Horton, America's builder. An equal housing opportunity builder. You've still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it hard to fight flu, pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I love a day on the water with friends, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis sometimes holds me back. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
Teaching music is my passion, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm treating my joint symptoms with Skyrizi.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months.
Or if you are an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that. And third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store. Start with Stable.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the final days of Sleep Number's biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale. Up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed. Ends Monday. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. Survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's abuse called today for more transparency.
This is a crime that, by our Justice Department's own admission, has 1,000 victims.
They and lawmakers on both sides of the aisle want the release of all of the documents in the case. CBS's Scott McFarland reports the latest release last night didn't go nearly far enough.
Yeah, one estimate that was given by one of the congressmen who spoke, Ro Khanna of California, was that what was released is roughly 1% of what the federal government may have on Jeffrey Epstein. You saw the front-facing documents from the Department of Justice, the things they filed in court. When the Department of Justice or any prosecutor goes to court, they're submitting a fraction of what they have as part of their investigation. These survivors, their attorneys, these members of Congress want all of it put in the public domain.
President Trump hosted Poland's president today, and the White House later said Trump will speak with Ukraine's president tomorrow about ending the war with Russia.
What a mess. What a bloody mess. It's going to get done one way or the other.
Russian President Putin said today he'd be willing to meet with President Zelensky in Moscow. Putin was in China for President Xi's military parade marking the 80th anniversary at the end of World War II. It was also designed in part to send a message to Washington, as Anna Coren reports.
This spectacle was more than just commemorating the war dead. It was an opportunity for Xi to take center stage, flanked by his powerful allies and neighbors. And the message was undeniable: strength in solidarity and a challenge to the U.S.-dominated world order.
The U.S. strike on an alleged drug boat in the Caribbean yesterday has raised questions about whether the U.S. goal in Venezuela is regime change. CBS's Charlie Daggett is at the Pentagon.
President Trump called this the first strike, and I think it's important to listen to the president because a lot of what's going on here, including putting that video out, it's about messaging. It's about sending a message to Venezuela itself, but also to drug traffickers in that region. He said there's more to come.
A New York judge will allow DNA evidence obtained through advanced techniques to be introduced into a Long Island murder trial. CBS's Jennifer McLogan.
The judge is allowing hair DNA to be used as evidence in this Gilgo Beach serial killer case. If it ever goes to trial, this will be precedent-setting in New York State courts.
Rex Heuermann, a 61-year-old architect, is charged in the deaths of 7 women in a series of killings that prosecutors say spanned decades. On Wall Street at this hour, stocks are mixed. The Nasdaq is higher by 136. The Dow is lower. This is CBS.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
More high-tech job cuts in Seattle. The story coming up at first. KIRO Newsradio traffic. In Renton, a crash is blocking a lane on I-5 northbound just south of I-405. Roadwork has closed 2 lanes on northbound 99 at Ward Street. Traffic backed up to the Seattle downtown tunnel. There's a crash on I-5 northbound near Seneca Street. You're slow back to Boeing Field. And a crash is blocking a lane eastbound on the West Seattle Bridge. You're slow mid-span. Traffic brought to you by KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch.
And he's going to go the wrong way I-5.
I'll be going the wrong way, I-5.
A man the Thurston County Sheriff is calling likely the most dangerous driver in the state is back behind bars after a high-speed pursuit. Deputies clocked him going 135 miles per hour. Video shows him abandoning the car and trying to make a run for it before he's tackled. The sheriff says the man, who has 14 felony convictions, is due back in court September 9th. Seattle police say they arrested two 18-year-olds before they were able to use a device to reprogram key fobs to steal a car. KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lobenbaugh explains.
Detective Eric Munoz says officers found professional key programmers being used by thieves trying to steal a car in Pioneer Square over the weekend.
It's a very unique way to steal a car.
Police say they moved fast to arrest two armed 18-year-olds before they could create a successful copy of the vehicle's key fob.
Officers were able to interrupt them while they were trying to do this process.
They also recovered two loaded guns on them.
The school year begins today for Seattle students at a district dealing with an $80 million budget shortfall. Interim Superintendent Fred Podesta says the district might have to cut buses and bus routes, add a third bell time, and
we might have to have larger class sizes. School schedule is important, but that's one of those things we think we can do.
Several school districts are struggling with budget shortfalls due to declining enrollment and increased costs. Thousands of local security guards represented by SEIU 6 have voted down their latest contract proposal and could soon go on strike. KIRO 7 TV's Ranji Sinha reports.
This workforce watches sites like Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, and Sound Transit. Representatives for the union say their guards are in the front line, dealing with a lot more over the last few years.
Mental health crisis, homelessness, alcohol and drug abuse.
The union said the median salary for these security guards that work at campuses like Microsoft's is about $55,000, and they cited a Seattle Times article saying you need to make $92,000 to live well here in King County.
Oracle is cutting jobs again in Seattle. The cloud computing company says 101 workers will be laid off starting November 3rd, according to a state filing. Oracle laid off 161 employees last month. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunshine with highs in the low 80s. It's 69 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Wednesday, September 3rd. Angela Poe Russell is in for Ursula. Good morning to you, Angela.
Good morning, G.
Do you think the 10 o'clock hour went faster than the 9 o'clock hour?
It did. It flew by.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. There was a lot of arguments, a lot of good debates, and all that good stuff. A lot of people texting in. I agree with Angela. There's a theme here on the show. It happens. But don't worry. If you think that we debated in the 10 o'clock hour, you buckle up. You get ready. And some of this stuff, I don't even know where you stand on this. So, hey, let's put it all together. Let's get ready right now.
Top stories at 11.
On the Gee and Ursula Show.
Them Seattle schools, they back, baby. Schools are back in session today, but one big question still hasn't been settled. Should police be allowed back in classrooms, starting with Garfield High? Here's where things stand. Seattle Public Schools still hasn't lifted its 2020 moratorium on police inside schools. But the school board could vote later this month on a pilot program at Garfield High School that would allow one back. The debate is intense. Supporters argue that a dedicated officer could help deter violence, sometimes spills onto campuses, saying counselors alone can't always prevent dangerous situations. Opponents, students, parents, and community activists counter that police presence inside schools are intimidating, discriminatory, and risk doing more harm than good. Seattle interim superintendent says the district has been engaging the Garfield community throughout the summer. Another public meeting is scheduled for September 9th, and the board could take a vote at its regular meeting on the 17th. If approved, the pilot officer would be funded through the Seattle Police Department's budget. Now, where do you stand on this? Yay or nay for resource officers back into the Seattle School District? 888-973-5476. Starting with you, Angela.
Okay, you said that critics argue they can be intimidating.
And discriminatory?
On the intimidating part, good. You need a little intimidation for folks who are trying to act up. I am a huge proponent of school resource officers being back in the school. This is a case where people throw the baby out with the bathwater. We do know that, yes, there is definitely a connection where certain populations of people are discriminated against and punished more harshly. But does that mean you just throw out the whole program? No, you fix it. You fix it. So let's get some officers in there who are passionate about youth, passionate about community. Kids are drawn to them, so they know all the tea. They know what's going on. They know who the bad people are, and they can get ahead of problems before they deteriorate. So, yes, let's do it, and let's just do it better.
Yes. This is an example, in my opinion, of where so many want to be right rather than get it right. So many are so stuck on that opinion. And I think this, I believe this, this is what I want, these kids, and you just miss everything in it. The thing is about something like this, I cannot think of a conversation that I've had recently with people, with kids in some of these schools where they would be against having a resource officer. And by the way, the resource officer in the school, that resource officer is usually how the parent describes that resource officer, right? And you notice I said the parent, not the child.
Yeah.
Because it's usually the parent that will go ahead and paint the narrative of that officer in the school. I've said this, and I continue to say this, Angela. They should change it. I believe that we need to get a better understanding of citizens and law enforcement. We need to bridge that gap either way going forward. The best way to do that was when I was in school, in the military, we would have a class for military. Every day I had a class, a military class. In school, you would have a class that involves law enforcement. And what do you learn in law enforcement, right? Well, when you're younger, you learn little things like, stop signs, whatever the case might be. But you learn rights, how to approach police officers, how they approach you. Get the relationship and understanding so we don't look at law enforcement as if they're so intimidating and discriminatory. And one last thing, if there's a knock, if there's something breaks, a window gets broken in your house at 3 o'clock in the morning, do you not call the police because they're intimidating? No, you call the police. So again, this is no-brainer where I believe law enforcement, resource officers should be in there.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, I have to do the public comment because, as a white person, I am speaking up in these meetings, right? And there are a lot of white people in the room who will stand there and say, putting police back in the classroom is not the answer. We've been here before. The harms outweigh the benefits, and we know that systemic racism is real and has not gone away. We cannot put our young people into the criminal legal system by putting officers back on campus, and that disproportionately it's the students of color who are going to be hurt by this. So I'm not worried about my kids. I'm worried about your kids. And this is why we should not put police back in schools, because we know that Black, Indigenous, and people of color are going to be suspects number 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they're going to be looked at as suspects first and not students.
It sounds good. But, okay, two things to that.
Oh, well.
First, it frustrates me that sometimes when the people are coming with these strong opinions on the resource officers, they don't even live in a school where the violence is happening.
Thank you, Becky. Where do you live?
Oh, my kids go to Seaview Elementary.
You know what I'm saying? Like this is what I'm talking about. It's the same people that wanted to what do you call the police? Defund the police. These are the folks that want to defund the police. They want to come to. Oh, I'm just so afraid. We need to take the funding out of the police. They're the problem. It was their voices that had these damn politicians in Seattle City Council losing their minds. And meanwhile, y'all ain't heard from nobody in the hoods. Man, everybody I know, aunties, cousins, mama, and them. They don't want you to mess with the police. Why? Because we know the safety that is involved in that. But again, you always have that one person that comes in full of coffee with Ugg boots on. She got the pumpkin spice. Well, let me just tell you what kind of impact this will have on our little kids.
Well, let me just quote some Ta-Nehisi Coates back at you, because I don't know if you're really informed on these.
Okay, so
this is satire, by the way.
It's satire. So Coates is an author and very well respected. I just want to honor in all of this that we do know, as in any profession, there are bad cops. I have encountered a few. However, we have some great ones, and we have some ones that are doing great work in the schools. Let's just hire better. Let's do better. I think it's a beautiful thing when you can have an officer in the community, in a school, bridging that gap between the community and law enforcement, building relationships with the students, and them getting to know. My dad used to always say, he's like, on my beat, I know everybody. Mm-hmm. He knew everybody. And being in the school helps you get to know the people.
Yeah. One last thing.
Mm-hmm.
As someone who grew up in the neighborhood, because some of you guys might not know about this, but some of us grew up in neighborhoods where cops were everywhere.
Yeah.
Like literally everywhere. You know what I mean? Some of you guys maybe had one law enforcement for the whole town. Some of us were over-policed, right? Yeah. I'll say this. The police officers that were at schools, those SROs, I would say the vast majority of them are really tailor-made specifically for that job, right? The militarization that you have heard of and seen with cops, they usually don't bring that attitude at the school, right? Mm-hmm. Because usually some of the problems that are had in the school are kind of taken care of before they become serious. Yeah. Unfortunately, there are people that have demonized, and by the way, I'm not sitting here going ahead and talking about all cops are great. No, that's not where I'm going with this. But where I am going with this is careful with this demonization of cops, because when you start taking these officers, which I think are a good thing to protect our babies in the schools, and now we have a situation where we're 5 years later and we still don't have the resource officers in these schools. And by the way, do I need to talk about Amar Murphy Payne again? We still don't have anybody that has been held accountable for the tragic shooting of that young man.
Innocent kid at school, and we still have not. That just.
Before we move on, I just want to say, Chef, dude, sometimes you're just way too good at this stuff, man. And if you guys missed that, if you were confused, that's because, Chef.
That was, okay, I got to make one more quick correction, okay? I think law enforcement in Washington State is different than they are in a lot of the nation. If I am a parent of a student of color in Missouri, I would be saying that with all seriousness. But I was saying that here in satire, because I think that the reforms and the way that we train in Washington State is much, much different. And we've seen the videos of, police officers body slamming kids in school. So I just wanted to say a shout out to law enforcement here in our state.
Okay. We agreed.
We kind of agreed.
Okay, are you ready for this next one?
I'm ready.
Do you think air conditioning is a human right? Buckle up, because you might be asked to pay for it. Get this. It's the first day of school in Spokane, out there east of the mountains. And the high temperature today is going to be 101 degrees plus. Kids are trying to learn in classrooms pushing 85 degrees, no air conditioning. The Spokesman Review reports that teachers are buying fans out of pocket. Principals are passing out popsicles, and students are crowding around misting machines like it's a theme park. Some schools rotated classes through the few portables that do have AC just so kids could cool down for a bit. Others just toughed it out with box fans in every corner. The district admits this is not sustainable. So now, Spokane Public Schools is looking to a $200 million bond this November to rebuild and retrofit schools with proper AC systems. How long do you think it will be until we start getting asked for money to put AC in every school on this side of the state?
Ooh, okay. It's a big question. And my answer is it depends on the environment and how long you're expected to be there. Because that was your question, is AC a human right? And I'm saying it depends on where you are, the temperature, and how long you have to be there if you're forced to be there. I think in climates that are consistently hot, I do believe, for example, there are prisons in the deep south where it is really, really hot and no AC, and then they wonder why they have disciplinary problems. And the same goes for schools. If, we don't have school typically in the summer. And so if it's one of those things, I don't know tell me the temperature, the climate deal in Spokane. They're
They're
hotter?
warmer, hotter during the summer, colder during the winter. But the west side of the state in the first part of June,
we're starting to get it.
Oh yeah,
we're starting to
for
get
sure.
Because here, like my daughter's school doesn't have AC, so the final few weeks of school are
hot.
But we're in Seattle, and so I just feel like if you're in an environment that's really, really hot, and you have people that are forced to be there, you need to fix it. I mean, it's kind of embarrassing. We want kids to learn. We just had a commentary earlier today, like why aren't kids learning and these kind of things don't help. You can't focus on learning if you're that uncomfortable.
How come you seemed uncomfortable with, and by the way, I know the right was, calling is AC a right. That was going too far. I was kind of being sarcastic. But why did you seem uncomfortable when I started talking? Because this is something that we taxpayers will have to pay for. You're okay with that too, though, right?
It's... yes.
Okay.
Because if you were living in a really hot place and had to be in that hot place for 8 hours of the day, wouldn't you want AC? I mean,
okay. So
I mean, in Seattle, most households have gone without AC, but we also haven't had consistent.
It's starting to get worse now in Seattle.
It's starting to get worse now.
It's starting to get worse.
Well, think of it this way: how accepting would you be of your workplace being 85 degrees indoors? Like, how much complaining would you do?
Depends on what that check do.
Kids ain't getting paid, bro.
Let me get that check. Okay, last topic. I got to squeeze this in. Question: who wants to be a billionaire right now? Would you sign up right now? You had the choice right now. Angela, not even thinking. You would be a billionaire.
Duh.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, tonight's Powerball jackpot is nearing $1.4 billion, but the Washington Post says, be careful what you wish for. An op-ed writer claims nothing comes free. Windfalls create new bills, property taxes, maintenance, hidden costs, easy targets for scammers and shady investment opportunities.
I'll take it.
Wealth brings the worst in people. Friends asking for handout, family feuds over money, even crime. One Georgia lottery winner was murdered months after his payout. Stop right there. See, I work with Chef every day. And when we're talking about something, he will go to a major extreme to find something, and he'll just put it in.
That's be murdered.
Chef put that one in there. Classic mistake. Seriously now. No money skills. Winners blow millions on cars, planes, bad business ideas. Many end up broke despite life-changing jackpots. Here you go. 70% of major lottery winners end up bankrupt. 44%, nearly half, go broke within 5 years of filing bankruptcy.
I bet it was a great 5 years.
All right. Come on, Angela. No, Angela. Right now, seriously, you would change your life right now by becoming a billionaire.
You would not. You would not. You would say no.
So here's what I believe. Here's why I would say no. Because my life today, as I know it, would be over. And I don't think, let me just speak for myself. I'm not going to even speak. I don't think that I would do well being a billionaire. I think that I think the way I would think would change. I think I'd become selfish. I think I'd become all of the things that I can't stand. I would become that person, all because I could do what? Buy a yacht? Buy a private?
I'd be great. I'd be great. I'm made for the moment.
You'd be great.
I'd be great. I'm made for this moment.
You don't think your relationship at all would change? Your marriage? You don't think it would change by you being a billionaire?
Nah. I think it'll get better.
Chef, seriously, come on, man.
You would turn down $1 billion.
I am not a better person with $1 billion, and I would no longer be able to trust any of my relationships. No.
What is wrong with you? So I don't even get this. I don't even get this. I didn't say I'm a better person, but I'd be a richer.
It makes me a worse person.
No, I would not be a worse person. I would.
Angela, what would you do the same? There's nothing you would do the same. You wouldn't come in here and talk to us if you were $1 billion.
I think I would still.
No, you would not. No, you wouldn't.
I could be a guest.
You'd vacation?
Let me stop.
You'd vacation?
No, I could see myself. I think with that money, I could show the city what to do about the housing issue. I feel like I think there'd be so much good that I could do and have a lot of fun.
Nick, how would you do with $1 billion?
Would you take it?
When I think more about it, I think I would take the $1 billion because I could maybe invest in a business and I could change the landscape of how people get paid these days. And, equal opportunity.
Okay. Here's one more for you guys.
Okay.
Can you think of the last time that you wanted to cuss somebody out, but you had to bite your tongue? Whatever moment that was, just remember, when you're a billionaire, you no longer bite your tongue.
Oh, that sounds great.
You would have actually, that kind of does sound good. That actually does sound good. So I might have to rethink my position. All right. Hey, coming up next, Chef says he's got something cooking and agree to disagree. We do that next. Gee and Ursula and Angela. This hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes.
Man wide open, touchdown Seahawks.
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football with the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel.
Number 71, Walter Jones, left tackle. The anchor to the left side of the offensive line for the Seahawks that went to the Super Bowl. One of the best players in franchise history.
Since the beginning, KIRO is where Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have heard the Seahawks play. Here's to the next 50 years.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on mynorthwest.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
It started as a puddle.
Where?
In the shower.
Uh-oh.
Then the kitchen sink.
Started backing up?
Yeah.
I know where this is going.
Clogged up.
Right. No problem.
Beg your pardon?
There's no clog we can't clear.
You're Dan.
From Apollo Plumbing.
This is going to get pricey.
How about $83?
To clear my drain?
Apollo Plumbing clears main drains every day.
For $83?
83 or it's free.
What's the catch?
No catch. We'll even do a camera inspection.
Why's that?
It's the best way to find the cause of your clog.
And it's included?
No extra charge. Truth is, we hate clogs.
I don't love them.
Seen them all.
Ew.
I promise. There's no clog Apollo can't clear.
Guaranteed.
83 or free.
Goodbye, slow drains.
All it takes is an accessible clean out.
And Apollo gets my drains draining again.
You call, we come, it's fixed.
My heroes.
Just doing our job.
Thank you, Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Cold is leaking and rats are moving and mold is creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
Citizens, since we each upgraded to Xfinity in our homes, the Wi-Fi has been booming. It's fair to say our town has officially become a boomtown.
Mayor, will I be able to drop into multiplayer gaming battles with low lag?
The lag won't be an issue, but your questionable skills may be.
And what if I have hundreds of devices on the Wi-Fi? Purely hypothetical.
Seems like a lot, but sure, hundreds of devices all booming together with the Xfinity Gateway. Yes, friends and neighbors, with Xfinity, the Wi-Fi is booming.
The Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Now get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best-in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed. All in. Plus, get unlimited data included and no annual contract. All with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with X5 Complete required for unlimited data except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-972-0588. 800-972-0588. 800-972-0588.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Cars for Kids, your trusted charity for car donations, also accepts donations of boats, RVs, motorcycles, and real estate. Call today, 877-CARS4KIDS.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. Following firings and turmoil at the CDC, the governors of Washington, Oregon, and California say their states are coming up with their own vaccine guidance and recommendations. CBS's Michael Wallace.
In a joint statement, they say the CDC has become, quote, a political tool that increasingly peddles ideology instead of science. Ideology that will lead to severe health consequences, end quote. The CDC has lost thousands of employees this year, including its director recently.
More than 1,000 current and former Health and Human Services workers sent a letter to Congress today demanding Robert F. Kennedy Jr. resign as secretary, saying his anti-vaccine policies endanger Americans. That's according to The Guardian. A federal judge is looking over an agreement between Boeing and the Department of Justice that allows Boeing to avoid prosecution for 2 deadly MAX airplane crashes more than 5 years ago. CBS's Chris Van Cleve.
This may be an opportunity for families who lost loved ones in those 2 crashes to get a chance to urge the judge not to dismiss this felony charge.
But more than 346 people died. Boeing says it's made major changes to improve quality and safety. Survivors of sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein and his accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell are asking Congress to pass a law that would force the release of all government files into Epstein.
Please really listen to us. Please vote for this bill to be passed. Please recognize how important it is for transparency relating to Jeffrey Epstein.
Meantime, a U.S. House committee released a missing minute of a recording of Epstein's cell block. It showed nothing unusual. Epstein eventually died by suicide in prison. People in Hawaii are being urged to keep up with weather forecasts as Hurricane Kiko gets stronger in the Pacific Ocean east of the islands. Meteorologist Drew Davis is in Honolulu.
Still too early to determine the impacts. The weather models are about a week out. Still a lot of uncertainty out there.
Kiko is forecast to strengthen into a Category 3 hurricane. Firefighters are struggling to contain the Bear Gulch wildfire. KIRO 7 TV's Lindsay Sheldon has the latest.
Containment has slipped along the fire line outside Olympic National Park. It dropped to 10% on Monday, and it remains there as fire has burned 9,300 acres as it was discovered July 6th.
It was human-caused. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 226 points. NASDAQ up 107. Nate Connors is at the KIRO News Radio traffic desk.
Thanks, Heather. Heading north through Seattle right now. A little challenging. Northbound 99 is heavy through the downtown tunnel starting near the stadiums due to earlier road work that just wrapped up about 10 minutes ago, so this one will be gone soon. Northbound I-5, the main line is packed from the north end of Boeing Field up to Mercer from earlier blocking problems. This has eastbound traffic on the West Seattle Bridge jamming up at Highway 99 as drivers wait to hop onto northbound I-5. South 5 got a little crowding between Northgate and the Ship Canal Bridge. Linwood to Seattle's at 20 minutes. Down in Renton, North 405, it's heavy from the Valley Freeway up to Northeast 44th. As far as I can tell, this is just volume. Renton to Bellevue, give yourself a half hour. And eastbound 18, you're packed heading over Tiger Mountain Summit, about a 2-mile bumper-to-bumper backup here. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunshine with highs in the low 80s. It is 70 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Angela Poe Russell is in for Ursula today. Before we get to agree to disagree, I was talking to Angela and Chef during the break, and I was just thinking, you know what? Let me go ahead and get that billion. I'll become a billionaire.
What's that Bruno Mars song? I want to be a billionaire so freaking bad.
That's because he has such a big gambling problem.
Oh, yeah. Hey, that doesn't get talked about enough. I
Bruno
feel like,
Mars has a gambling problem?
Oh
my goodness.
Yes. Oh, yeah. It's documented. It's just never headline news.
There's a reason he performs there all the time.
Yes.
Yeah, bro.
That is so sad. I hope he doesn't blow all his money.
Well, yeah, that's a rough one. All right, agree to disagree. Brought to you by Garden Roofing and Gutters. One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves. Just really go at it.
Bad news for some sports fans out there. The feds have shut down the largest illegal sports streaming site on the internet, a site that I hear is called Stream East. This is the first time I've ever heard of this site. Gee, I guess I should let folks know who don't know. Illegal sports streaming sites allow you to tune in to any kind of game across the world, NBA, football, baseball, whatever you want to watch, and you don't have to get it through your cable or YouTube TV. So, Gee, when people go on a sports streaming site, is that immoral, and is it piracy, or is it just what you got to do because the leagues charge so much?
Hey, I got text messages today about Stream East being down. The crazy thing is I just found out and heard about Stream East last week. I had never known about Stream East. Yeah, I think that it should be taken down. I think because all it is a nice way of stealing, right? You're taking away from ESPN. You're taking away from, I'm sure Dana White is like, hey, I don't want anybody being able to watch my UFC fights on these Stream East. I want you to go ahead and have to pay. So, yeah, they're taking them down, and these folks are wanting to make their money. It's no different than these streams like Netflix and all those places cutting down on you sharing your passwords to that many people. Your thoughts?
I agree with you in protest. In protest because some of their fees and their rules are absolutely ridiculous. I'm not a big tennis fan, but one day I wanted to watch. There's this tennis player who I've been following. Can't think of his name, but he's dating Trinity Rodman. Is his name Ben? No one. Okay, crickets.
Why would either of us possibly know
Trinity
that?
Rodman.
I don't know who Trinity is.
Trinity Rodman is Dennis
Rodman's
Rodman's
daughter.
Plays soccer,
Okay.
and so she's dating this quote unquote hot tennis guy. And so I wanted to see the match because he's like a rising star. And one of the networks was like, okay, we're showing the matches, but if you want to watch his match, then you have to go onto this streaming thing and pay this. I'm like, for one, I mean, they've gotten so greedy. Every single network, every single entity is now trying to charge you for every little thing you see. It just feels like we're being nickel and dimed. So I've never been one of those people like, oh, let me illegally connect the cable and steal this. So I'm not a fan of that. But I absolutely understand why people are going there because it's so ridiculous.
The way you framed that just shows that you have no idea what this is. Like connecting the cable. This is internet.
I'm saying back in the day, I was never a fan of being that person that would illegally connect the. So I was going back to
old school.
What it used to be. Was never a fan of that, and not a fan of this. So, or sharing of the password. And no judgment if that's what you do. But I want to just say I feel what's driving it because it's frustrating.
Is his name Ben Shelton?
That's it, Ben Shelton.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Thank you, Kevin, and thank you, C.
Well, let me provide a defense for all the Poe folks out there. Let's see. Were I someone to do this, they're not getting me as a customer anyways. It's a choice between I'm either not watching it all or I'm watching it on an illegal stream. Second, the quality is not high enough where you can consistently rely on an illegal stream. It often cuts out, it blips. Like, you cannot have company over to watch a game on an illegal stream because when the screen freezes at a critical moment, you look like a total jerk. At the same time, I'm not throwing down $180 a month to watch, my favorite team. And there are plenty of markets, including historically here in Seattle, where you cannot watch your local team if you do not have cable.
I know, right?
Like, there is no online option in many markets to watch baseball teams. You can't do it. Remember when they used to have blackouts for Seahawks games because there weren't enough fans that bought tickets? Like, sorry, you just can't watch your team anymore. They have made it so impossible for such a huge majority of people. Like, if you can't afford it, what are you going to do? Go out to a bar and spend $30, $50 over the course of 3 hours to watch a game? You've just lost me as a fan. And what sports teams should realize is that the value of fans, you do not get that next generation of fans if you don't get them to watch you.
Wow, that part.
Now that part right there, Chef, that you just said, that's the part where many are these big wigs and they're missing that. And here's what I mean by that. There will be the way today that there are diehard Mariner fans.
Yep.
And the reason why you're diehard because you were listening to all that kind of stuff. You listen to over you watched the 95 slide. You saw the Mariners on regular TV. You got to watch the Mariners that way.
For free.
The Matthews of the world, when they get 30-something years old, they won't be as diehard of a fan as you are as the parent today because you got to watch.
We watched it for free. We watched for free. That is such an excellent
Chef,
point.
you nailed that, bruh.
Well, look, I understand there are cheap options for, going to a game in person for the Mariners.
Yeah.
But still, it's relatively expensive if you add parking, and that's the cheapest professional sport. There's no way that you're getting a new generation of hockey fans, new generation of, football's on regular TV most of the time, but like baseball, hockey, basketball, if your dad doesn't have have a subscription, you're not going to be a fan.
Oh, no. I'm going to say football, too, because while football is on TV, not many people are able to go to games. There's some of you that are listening right now that have had families. You've never had a child, or you yourself have never gone to a game because you know how expensive the NFL ticket is. And so what is happening right now, can we talk about concerts? Because can we talk about concerts and how people aren't going to concerts anymore because they're outpriced in that? In 20 years, the way what people are fans of will be very interesting.
But why are musicians having to charge so much for these concerts? Why? Because they can't make any money off their music anymore. So everybody has to tour. The music became just... Because he just talked about, but because we're going back to now people could just get their music for free. Just kind of similar to this situation. By the way, I just want to call out something quickly. Jeff and Everett, He basically was saying, I'm a lifelong WWE fan. They are on cable, got to pay for that. They're on Netflix, got to pay for that. Now they're joining ESPN. There's another $30. My fandom has finally gone bankrupt.
You know what? That was a very heavy agree to disagree right there. I don't even know if there was any disagree. Well, it started off that way. It was, yeah.
Would you download a car?
Nick, any comments on this, sir?
I would just say it's just getting more and more expensive with the subscriptions and the sports. I mean, I feel like I was lucky, being able to grow up with the basic cable with the Mariners. Yeah. And like now it's just like subscriptions. It's crazy.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Coming up next, text messages. Oh, no. Scratch that. It's what's on your mind. We tried that yesterday and it worked out well. What is on your mind? Text us 888-973-5476.
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football with the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel.
Number 71, Walter Jones, left tackle. The anchor to the left side of the offensive line for the Seahawks that went to the Super Bowl. One of the best players in franchise history.
Since the beginning, KIRO is where Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have heard the Seahawks play. Here's to the next 50 years.
What if weight loss didn't feel like a lonely battle? What if you had a proven tool and a trusted guide by your side? At Longevity Medical Clinics, our medically supervised GLP-1 weight loss program helps you shed pounds, boost your metabolism, and feel more like yourself again. But unlike online programs that drop medication at your doorstep and disappear, we take the time to understand your body. We track your lab work, monitor your safety, and adjust your plan so your results are healthy and lasting. Because weight loss isn't one size fits all, and you deserve a program designed for your unique biology. If you're serious about losing weight and you want to do it the right way, Longevity Medical Clinic is here to help. Call Longevity Medical Clinics today at 866-86-YOUNG or visit longevitymedicalclinic.com for your free health analysis. Longevity Medical Clinics. Real medicine, real monitoring, real results. Call 866-86-YOUNG or visit longevitymedicalclinic.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
When the weather changes, your home shouldn't be the one left unprepared. Hi, I'm Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. We offer the strongest solutions in roofing, siding, decking, windows, and gutters, made for the Pacific Northwest. And right now, get 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 24 months or up to $3,000 off your next project. No gimmicks, no stress, just reliability you can count on. Visit stateroofing.com or call 866-ROOF-ROOF to schedule your free estimate today.
State Roofing, the best roof you'll ever need.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. If you have a 2004 or newer vehicle that's out of warranty or about to be, Endurance is urgently notifying U.S. drivers about their low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save drivers thousands on rising vehicle repair costs. Those who qualify can pick their plan, coverage, and repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental cars included. All covered repairs get paid directly to the repair shop for you. Call now for your free quote. Call 800-298-7906. 800-298-7906.
I'm Captain John Kelly with the Salvation Army. The Seattle Addiction Recovery Program helps men break free from addiction at no cost to them through physical, emotional, and spiritual growth. That's why our success rate is nearly 4 times the national average. While participants pay nothing, it costs the Salvation Army about $10,000 to help one person graduate into recovery. Want to help? Join us for the Red Shield Classic Golf Tournament, September 11th at Echo Falls. Register or donate at tsaredshieldclassic.org. Together, we can change lives.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Care Partners Senior Living is growing. Amanda here. We are very excited to introduce our newest communities in Port Orchard, Sumner, and North Creek Bothell, bringing compassionate, quality care at an affordable price, closer to more of you. Visit carepartnersliving.com today.
With football season comes cooler weather, so if you need new windows and doors, don't drop the ball. Steve Rabel here. Call on locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington to tackle your project. Their wide selection of windows and doors always beats the competition, and they'll give you top-notch customer service with no trick plays. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
It's the Gee and Ursula Show. Angela Pope Russell's been hanging out all day today. Angela has some popcorn and didn't even offer me none. Came in, ate that popcorn.
I am so sorry. My bad.
All
Get
right.
your own, bro.
It's not like that.
This is the time that I started. This is day 2 of What's on Your Mind. You all can text in 888-973-5476. Brian in Bellevue says, what's on his mind? The fact that the Epstein files haven't been released is a testament to how rotten to the core the whole entire system is. They are trying to protect the guilty rather than the children.
I so appreciate Brian bringing that up because he is absolutely right. The reason this kind of thing is able to thrive throughout the world is because there are systems and there are networks in place. And the person who was a major player in that died. And there are others that were involved, and we still don't know all who they are. So why not release the files? That's my question. Why not?
We all know the answer to that, don't we?
Do we? Do we know the answer to that? Because I don't think we all do. I think that, here's what I believe. I believe the same amount of people that believed one way haven't had their mind changed, even though they are seeing in real time the defiance and not releasing the files. I don't think anybody's changing their minds. I don't think this is a deal breaker. It's definitely not a deal breaker for Congress. Can we agree with that? Can we agree
I don't know. The Congress
But
met with survivors today, and like Nancy Mace came out of that meeting in tears, had a panic attack, would not talk to reporters. I think once you actually get confronted face to face with these people, that might change some thoughts and minds.
And
Donald Trump called that meeting a Democratic hoax.
So, wait, the meeting with his own person?
No, the survivors
Right.
are meeting with Congress and stuff.
Right. Okay.
Calling that meeting a Democratic hoax.
Well, here's what's interesting. You know, we always have the networks in the studio. And I'm looking, because bias in news, you all, it's also what you choose to cover and what you choose not to cover. And since we've been sitting here in the studio, I've watched Fox News cover what's her name? Ilhan Omar? How much does she make?
Net worth, yeah.
I watched her cover net worth.
And they also covered, should people be worried about violent crime in Chicago?
Yeah.
Tipping point for transports.
Transports, which 0.8% of the population. And you know, and I haven't paid as, like I said, I was looking at Fox News because I was struck by some of the headlines, but it happens everywhere. And that's why it's so important to diversify your portfolio so that you get different perspectives and different news stories. Okay, thank you, Brian, for telling us what was on your mind. That was a really good one.
All right,
really
we spent a lot of time, so it's now time for Words
Is
to
it
Live
really?
By. Yes.
We did not spend all our time on that.
Yes, we did.
I am so sorry, y'all. Okay, this was inspired by our lottery discussion. Okay? It's not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. Seneca.
Ooh. Whoa.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Whoa. That's a thing right there. That is a real thing. All right, Nick, that was kind of deep. See if you can follow that, brother.
Well, little did I know how much some people spend on pets rather than some fresh produce that seems more vital for assets, but teach their own on what they buy and splitting wants from needs, like the song we needed before we end today, we'd all agree.
It was the 3rd of September.
Though it's not agreed who's taking home the $1 billion check, though if anyone should pass it up, I'll take their spot on deck. A little billion here is like the new million there. I'm not asking for two. That would be a little crazy.
I'm so angry right now.
Why are you angry?
So
He changed his mind.
Nick knows why I'm angry.
This is the one day.
Because this is the one day that I really could have got it, and I still didn't get it. I did not know. It
was too obvious.
So every day
You
I
try
try
to guess the closing song.
Yeah.
And this one you could, so you opened with the song, singing
Yes.
it. So that was a nice touch, Nick.
Sneaky. Yes, Nick. By the way, I've never guessed it. Never, not once. That's sad.
That's going to be a little game for me next.
Oh, you've never tried to guess what Nick's going to play next?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of gave you like a lob ball.
Literally. And the crazy thing is, our listeners are so honest, they've never guessed it either. Angela, it's been fun.
It's been wonderful. I hope Ursula is able to be back tomorrow. If she isn't, of course, I'm happy to be here.
Okay,
But
no
I
doubt.
hope she can come back. Yep.
Thank you, Chef. Appreciate all your hard work, man. Nick, appreciate you
too,
as
man.
well. Thank you. Hey, the Jake and Spike show, they're coming in next. You all have a great rest of your day. Maybe listen to Papa Was a Rolling Stone. Remember, it's always a good time to listen to the Temptations. We appreciate you for listening. Love you for that. And as always, be kind.
Hope you had as much fun as we have. So long, everybody. Hey, Mama, is it true what you say that Papa never worked a day in his life?
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Shop incredible end-of-summer savings at the Dania Furniture Labor Day sale. For a limited time, take up to 70% off select modern furniture and decor for every room in your home. Stop by one of our 4 local showrooms today or shop online at daniafurniture.com.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-972-0588. 800-972-0588. 800-972-0588.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio. Northwest News.
Switching bath soap from sandalwood to tropical essence? That's glamping in the rainforest. Sometimes a different way is the better way. Like the SR 509 Expressway near SeaTac. Tolling soon. Free good-to-go sticker pass at goodtogo509.com.
Eggland's Best. The only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-497-0593. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-497-0593. That's 800-497-0593. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1.